Hello, hello. Hello, pulpit. Looks like you've come to the right place. Because you're about to get done. Wait, it's not meant the same way in America. You're about to get done. You're about to get done, mate. You're gonna be done right up. 2 cherries. I don't know what that means. 2 cherries. What's up, Cynical? We're gonna beat the game. We're gonna beat the game of life today. Give me one moment. I'm just making sure everything is ready to go. Gonna load myself up a bowl just so I'm ready. Ready when the feeling strikes. And god damn it, is it ever gonna strike. Oh, the feeling's gonna strike. It's gonna strike. It's gonna strike like thunder. And lightning. Oh no. Oh, I like that. No. Why did you do this to me? Oh, that was some good bossa nova. AI generated probably though, but you know. Okay, whatever. Screw you, bossa nova. Copyright free. Classic edition. Whatever you're doing. Whatever that is. Ay, ay, ay. The second you find a track you like, isn't that just the way? Hello, 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 and hello, and hello, and hello, and hello, and hello, and salutations. And, oh, well, you already said salutations, so I can't say it, because otherwise I'm taking your funny word, and then I'm stealing it and trying to co-opt it for my own personal gain, you know? And that's just unethical, and today we're being extra ethical, alright? We're being so ethical that we're gonna try and figure out through, you know, divining or whatever method have you, we're gonna figure out whether Christianity or video games are more evil. Yes, that is absolutely clickbait, but you know, if it works, it works, right? If it works, it works. And sometimes it really works. Sometimes it works to high heaven. So as you know, Cynical, you're able to make a pretty good live-in in Schedule 1 simply by doing non-criminal related things. Non-crime related things. Oh, Jesus, fuck! I just hit my mic, sorry. Sorry if you're a headphone user. Some ASMR for you. As much as I love the music in Schedule 1, and I mean that genuinely, we're gonna let it take a back seat to the wonderful bossa nova rhythms. Just trying to see if there's any way that I can change. Nope. So, mass move is bound to left shift, and they don't realize that I'm left-handed and that I don't ever put my left hand on the keyboard. So it's, you know, makes it a little more difficult to navigate the game world when you can't instantly move stacks of things. Oh, just had to move my my camera over on the whatchallit, that thing, it's the thing there that films a face and puts it in the screen for consumption. That thing. Camera. I was describing it pretty well, though. I did a pretty good job, I think. Just kind of describing it. Get out of here! Is it... display? Well, it's exclusive full screen, so I don't know. You know, it's just the way games done be made. It's gonna go dark when I click out of the screen. That's just kind of... that's how it is, alright? Don't fucking at me. Don't you fucking at me. So what we're doing in addition, right, to playing Schedule 1, completely ethically, by the way, is we're also going to be looking at just kind of like rando TikToks. You know how it goes. This is the same format as it has been. Ever unchanging. And we're just going to see if we can figure out through gameplay or whatever, which is more evil. Whether it's Christianity or video games. It's going to be an interesting... I think we're just going to continue to prove the same thing that we kept proving last couple of days. Is just that Christianity can be pretty evil. Yesterday, I think that we landed on MAGA being more evil, simply because there's a lot of shitty qualities to the MAGA party, and I think it just kind of edges out Christianity simply by virtue of just recent events. So that's, I mean, cool for them, good job, MAGA. Or Christianity. Good job. Excellent work, my friends. We did it. We beat off... I mean, we beat down the persecution. No more persecution. Christians are finally free. Congratulations. If I had like a firework emoji, I'd be using it right now. With the little party noise, party thing. Congratulations. So a lot of these are probably going to come from, or maybe we can just answer some atheist questions. We haven't done that in a bit. Yeah, we'll listen to Christians talk shit about atheism.
Yeah, I don't believe in God. Zero church, zero anything. I don't read the Bible, but
Okay, hang on now. Hang on now, John Faceman, Mr. Man Face Guy, John Man Face Guy. I think that's his real name, his legal name. Mr. John Man Face Guy. Hey, Vic Morrison, what's up? There we go. Okay, Mr. John Man Face Guy here is going to tell us why being an atheist isn't good, is not a good thing. And you may notice in the where's he going to look good? Where's he going to look his best? Perhaps up here, maybe. You don't see this, that I'm fiddling with this on the vertical view. I'm determining where I want it on the horizontal. Give me a goddamn second, all right? Give me a goddamn second. God damn it, Jesus Christ. We'll keep it small on the... We'll even put it down here. And we'll bring it... That's not how you do that. We'll bring it... Shoop, right there. So that way you don't necessarily have to see my ugly mug, but you can just kind of still see what we're working with here. It really doesn't need to be seen more so than it just deserves to be, listened to. So I'm going to make it kind of small. That's fine. We'll make it small and we'll make it work. Separation of church and state, baby. If only that was all we had on a regular basis, I'd be pretty stoked with a good, clear line drawn between the two. But unfortunately, what happens when you desensitize entire generations to modern propaganda, you actually start getting religious messages in schools. And again, as I've said before, I think that I'm going to always be defending myself when I say that I don't necessarily think that religion itself is the problem. It can be, especially when people justify a whole bunch of bad shit by using the Bible or religion or what have you. But I think what the more important thing to do is to help people understand that the conflict isn't so much between like good and evil or left and right. It's more so against those who wish to exploit people and those who do not. I don't really know of a more simple way to say it. You could say that it's rich versus poor. You could say that it's corporation versus, John Everyman. But I think that sort of diminishes the position of either and makes the again, I think it aids in adding to the noise. And so that's why I keep saying, I said this yesterday, many, many times, that we got to just stop with the whole, like, getting into nuance and figuring out why a certain word was translated a certain way in things like the Bible, or what our forefathers were intended when they differentiated between citizen and all people, It feels like we got to come more into the middle of the issue itself and say, is what they're doing good or bad? Because all it evolves into now is trying to get into the nuance of policy, trying to talk about, well, your guy did this, 8 years ago. Like, that's not what people are asking, That's not what people are asking for the consideration. In terms of consideration, I mean, that's not what people are asking. People are asking for transparency and for, not just wholesale death, right? I mean, I don't know if any of you heard Hegseth's briefings on the current situation. Well, yeah, I guess anachronistic is a good category of arguments to get out of, but it's nuanced conversations as well, getting too into the nitty-gritty. Like, instead of deciding, like, what Joseph of Arimathea said to Hesyphus of Arachalakia, and, whether it was translated correctly, and then we try to interpret what they meant from it, and then we try to, figure out all this stuff about how they're, like, going to Jerusalem, and what they might have been thinking at the time, and what the nuances of the time were, and what was the world like back then. Great for allegorical analysis of what you're trying, the values that you're trying to espouse during, practice of this religion, but not so much for the argument of whether or not God is real. It needs to be, is God real? Yes or no? And then once you determine that he's not real, then why are you going to try and go, I mean, you may not come to that conclusion. You may come to the conclusion of, yes, he is real. In which case, then, yeah, absolutely go off and do other stuff. Yeah, totally. Test it out. Do all kinds of other, like, theory crafting and figuring out what God could be like. Totally. Absolutely. From there on, I would encourage it fully. The problem is, we don't get to that point. We just get to accepting that God is real, which is a mistake. That's just, what reasonable person would live their life on trust me, bro? I can't find the logic there. It doesn't square with me. Oh, Jesus. Like, if my son insults me, I get to unalive him. Maybe it went over 2K years ago, but those things are not relevant now. Some will argue it is. I mean, there are plenty of people who are, as I said yesterday, who would identify as Christian nationalists. Maybe not self-identify, but who could be identified as Christian nationalists. And people who are in that category are trying to justify that violence is okay. What they want is a violent defense of what they believe to be their values. That's why they try and, like, get around all these First Amendment loopholes by not necessarily saying, oh, we want to go to civil war or anything like that. Like, they're really good at finding these loopholes. Like, what do people think the opponents of civil rights have been doing this entire time? Sowing discord, sowing discontent, trying to disrupt and plunge into chaos our democratic process. Which, Vic Morrison, you bring up a really good point, is why stochastic terrorism should be excluded from the protections of the First Amendment. I fully believe that. I think that if you are inciting violence, and there are some court cases that have ruled in favor of people who have accused others of stochastic terrorism, including, I believe, in an accessory manner. You could use it as case law probably to prove a case for stochastic terrorism, but including Alex Jones very recently, trying to accuse of the victims of the Sandy Hook massacre as being crisis actors, lying purposefully. I mean, I think that probably is covered under many other different laws, like FCC violations and whatnot, but that could very well be used as case law to argue for stochastic terrorism being an omission to the freedom of speech. And I'm not for taking away rights. But, like, holy shit, man. Like, Hegseth, again, like, I hate to keep bringing it up, but that's just what's happening today. Hegseth is just up there lying, like, just lying his fucking face off. And, it really makes sense according to Project 2025 or whatever the fuck, 2026, whatever it is. It makes sense because you were supposed, like, as the president, as the target of this document, of the new covenant or whatever the fuck, you're supposed to be putting people who are good at propagandizing into positions of power so that they can twist whatever the narrative is, right? It's just so shitty. Like, I know, again, I'm bringing up Hegseth again for the third fucking time today already in 20 minutes. But just the things that he was saying, like how he's like, their navy is at the bottom of the Indian Ocean, and everywhere we go, it will be air superiority, and we're gonna like crush them into dust and all this stuff. It's like, fuck, man. Like, why even encourage this? We're totally legal. Totally legal co. And yes, we're going to skip the prologue. You're only as good as the people working for you. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like a person in a managerial or ownership position should be better at their job, at their employees' jobs than their employees. So I feel like that phrase is a little antithetical to what I believe. But I believe that you should strive to be better than the people who are working for you. But I don't know, these are all platitudes, right? You can interpret them any way you want. So Schedule 1, if you weren't sure, is a game where you manufacture drugs. And many times I have been able to determine that you don't necessarily need to even sell drugs in this game to make a decent amount of money. There are definitely bottlenecks, and I'm not so certain that you can get by some of those bottlenecks just by brute force, but we'll see. We'll check. I think it's possible. Manager of the hospital can't do heart sugar or surgery. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're talking about specializations, but in a perfect world, they would know how to. In a perfect world, they could step in and they could do the job that whoever's doing it does. That's a personal, I believe that I have a very strict view of who should and should not own businesses. And I'm willing to acknowledge that. I would call myself a business fascist. Definitely. If I could, I would go and take businesses away from people who should not have them. If I had that power, I would use it. Some people should not own businesses. Plain and simple. If I was the arbiter of who gives out business licenses, I certainly would not be giving them to most of the people who have businesses right now. But I feel like, and again, that's an opinion, but I feel like a person who is actively involved in, hey, what's up, baby, Ashley? I'm good. How are you? What is this icon? This user is a Gears of War Reloaded super fan. I've never seen the... Or maybe I'm just not noticing the icon that you're using, but that's crazy. That's cool. I like that. I'm good. How are you doing? I'm turning off my face cam just for a moment, simply because I'm about to crush the first bowl of the day, and if you'd like to, feel free to crush yours along with me. I don't know why I use the word crush. Maybe I'm using retro slang in an attempt to sound like, hey, fellow kids, Perhaps that might be it. I don't know, and I ain't gonna tell. I don't know why I said that. Again, I feel like this is like 1920s radio now for some reason. Glad to hear it, and this is a rare badge. Okay. Sweet. Hell yeah. Maybe one day, if I actually pick a game to play full-time, then I could actually get a badge to be a super fan. All right, I am going to light this bowl up so I can return my pretty face to the screen. Give me just one moment. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty fitting, the game that we're playing. One could say thematic. Ashley, this is only my first playthrough in terms of trying to do it incredibly legally, super amazingly ethically. This will be the first playthrough of that nature. But I have played the game before. Didn't get very far. And I stopped playing around the time, like right before they added the enemy cartels. So I haven't really dealt much with that. I've only, in my playthrough that I'm, I guess, scrapping now. That was, I had just talked to the Mafia guys. But I was already at like $150,000. And I just, the bottleneck was having to wait for it all to be laundered. But we're not really even going to try and find a way around that. We're just going to sleep as early as possible. And just allow money to be laundered sort of like as it goes. I think that's really the only way to get around the bottleneck. In terms of, now I don't want to give away a bit of a spoiler here so early on in the playthrough, but I may end up growing weed. Now the way that I've determined to do this ethically is I'm going to obtain the amount of money that it would be that it would cost to get a essentially a prescription. In my state, you can legally get, buy weed just normally. And you can grow, I think, up to 12 plants. If you're from Oregon, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that when you get your medicinal license, it goes up to 24 plants. So if we can keep it in that lane, if we keep it within Oregon state law, then I think I'll be able to ethically grow marijuana, but I would like to resist doing that for as long as possible. I don't think we're really going to need to. I think it's really only going to come down to, like, for personal use, if I want to do, like, recipes for, like combo effects, like if I want to jump high or run fast. But overall, I want this to be a completely legal, following the law, even federal law. All right, I want to try and see if we can do that. I think it'll be slow going at first, but may take a couple days to even get the money train started. But you'll see once it starts coming in. You'll see. Oh, you'll see. Oh, you'll see. But oh Jesus, I accidentally hit. So my ashtray has these long matches in it. And if you hit one of them, they all fly out of the ashtray, which is always super fun. So, along the way, Ashley, I don't know if you happen to be a religious person or an atheist. All are welcome here. But we also will ask the question. We do this on YouTube on the vertical feed because, I don't know, a lot of people tend to view when we ask controversial questions. And the question today is, which is more evil, Christianity or video games? To me, it seems like an easy answer, but we may find proof otherwise along the way. But we'll be watching some TikToks that sort of play into that theme. They show off a little bit of Christianity and their thoughts on atheism, and we're gonna have a good time with it. That's about it. That's the summary. That's what you're going to experience today. Everyone out there in wherever you are, England. Am I male or female? I will be male. I will be fat, although I wish you could be fatter. I have a suggestion. What's your suggestion? And I will be as close to my native skin tone as possible. I think I'm... Right? I mean, I'm washed out here because of all the lights, but... My strong boy. My strong baby boy. I can feel him kicking. I think he's gonna be a soccer player. Would you like to play football, my baby boy? Would you like to play football? Kick for me, my baby boy. Kick for me. Now suck my finger. Do it slow. Wait, this is supposed to be me. I guess maybe this is how I'd interact with a clone of myself. I don't see why not. Goddamn, what is it? Which engine was this again? That's like the default rotation for that. It's not Unreal, it's Unity. Let's be balding. I'm never going to be balding in real life, so I might as well take advantage of it, see what the perspective is on this side of the world, you know. I like your stream. I will definitely tell my friends to join your stream. I appreciate it. I much do. It is really about building community, you know, at the end of the day. Because can you really beat a video game completely legally and ethically? Probably not. Is Christianity all over 100% evil? Probably not. Depending on the person following it. Are video games evil? Hell no. That's an easy. But you know, I think the most important thing, oh yeah, I like this. Put a mop on him, you know, make it bright yellow. There you go. Perfect. I love it. He's a pouty boy. Or is he agitated? No, he's a pouty boy. And we got some stubble. Can't really see very easily the stubble. I think he needs to have a little bit less of a blonde facial hair palette. And I guess he's old. He's got freckles. There we go. Perfect. I have something to ask you. Sure. It's usually a little bit scary when someone prefaces a question with being able to ask the question, but I'll entertain it. Are you jaundiced or stoned? This is going to be political, okay? I am happy to share my political beliefs. Is he jaundiced or stoned? Is he jaundiced or stoned? I think he's going to be stoned. And just super, super not phased. Just super like, yeah, what? You know? And, of course, his eyebrows are very important. And that's why they are going to merge. There you go. It's just like he has a really low hairline. Or no, they could be behind his eyeballs. What you think that World War III gonna happen? I mean, we're in it right now. If you know, once the bombs started dropping on Iran, then it was kind of like, this is where the slope gets the slipperiest. I mean, I hope not, but it really feels like, you know, it's about that time. Maybe not World War III, but definitely another Middle Eastern conflict that we don't need to be in. For certain. The third in my lifetime. And then we're just going to wide them out. Completely wide it out. Shabam. There you go. Here he is. Ew! Illegal! But you see what I mean? Like, you can't really get around it. You have to at least have canonically have been some a weed smoker. So that's why we're going by Oregon state laws. You know, hey, it happens to be where I live. I'm just trying to follow the law here. All right? Don't give me no guff. We are going to play this real
I
quick.
sit there. Yeah, I don't believe in God. Zero church. Zero.
He's speaking as an atheist right now.
There started praying 3 times a day. My prayer started like this. God, I don't believe in you. I think it's fake. I think it's for weak people. But if you're out there, I want to know something. My girl and I were at Universal Studios City Walk. We're in the car. We're having a big fight. She leaves. And I said, God, I haven't spoken to my mom for 5 years. But if you exist, I would love to talk to my mom. 30 seconds later, I get a call from a block number. I don't want to answer the phone. And I flip it, and it's my mom crying. So why are you crying? She says, I got the feeling you were in pain. But I don't know how to talk to her. I hang up the phone. I sat in that car that night, chills all over my body. I'm like, oh my God. Either this is ironic or this is real, but the level of coincidence is a little too real. I could have chosen to say it's ironic. I chose to believe it was God, and he has my back, and he's had my back from day one. That level of confidence I got from that moment that somebody was watching me and had my back is the reason why I am where I'm at today. I make my decisions purely knowing he has my back, and if you ask me what's one of my biggest fears is losing his favor. Because to me, in life, when you get a person that has your back, you take that for granted and you lose it, you're a fool.
Right, so he was experiencing a bunch of trauma, and he was in a very bad place in his life, and he took a moment to introspect and to really explore his feelings and understand what he was doing. He just puts a mask of God over that entire thing, and then instead of attributing his epiphany or his peace of mind to himself, this guy's a douchebag, by the way. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Patrick Bet-David is, but he's one of those like anti-woke, anti-Palestine, like all. I mean, I don't know if he's anti-Palestine, but he's just like terrible. Definitely one of those like, oh, I'm a billionaire influencer and everything I say is canon and you should totally like listen to me and obey my strategy for financial wellness. We haven't technically declared war. Well, yeah. I mean, he just kind of went in and started bombing. What is it? Casus belli? You know, is that the civilization term? Declared war since World War II. Everything is our policing actions. Yeah, we're an anti-terrorism task force, which is largely semantics. Brushfire conflict is likely to be the thing that spills out into a larger conflict like that, though similar to World War One. Yeah, like there's not going to be a shot that was heard around the world. There's probably not going to be a Francis Archduke Ferdinand moment. What do you think? Is Israel is doing the right thing or not? I mean, no. They're like us. Like, they just kind of go and do things and say that they're defeating terrorism. Really what they're doing is ethnic cleansing and genocide. Religious persecution. You know. And then modern propaganda campaigns to demonize the people that they are then turning around and slaughtering. So that they can say, hey, no, they were evil. They were bad guys. So we're totally justified in doing that. And then moving into their houses. Real morbid stuff. But as you can see...
We're in the car. I think it's for weak people. But if you're out there, I want to know something.
He wasn't necessarily religious. I don't necessarily think that he was an atheist. Because people who go back to religion often are experiencing a cycle. They're often experiencing a resurgence or a lapse into a cycle, into an addictive or comfortable a cycle. I guess you could say cycle of abuse. Because it's like when you grow up in a religious family and they're just hammering religion into your head all the time, trying to make you as religious as possible. I mean, that's indoctrination, right? Like, that's, you could say brainwashing. I mean, it's all just terms that we use today to describe things like that. But this was completely normal in the past. And it leads to fundamentalism, leads to extremism, yada, yada, yada. I'm not a fan of Iran, but I'm even less a fan of bombing people. Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, you can, like, and that's the pushback that I've gotten on here, online at least, has been all about, like, oh yeah, man, like, you totally are defending a nation that would throw gay people off a roof. First, there's no extensive records that any of that happened with any kind of regularity. But second, like, you can not like some aspects. This is just like the Bible, man. Like, people so adherently protect the Bible that they can't believe that God would ever make a mistake or ever put something bad in the Bible. You are a person of choice and free will. You can choose not to like the slavery bits. You know, it's the same thing with, you know, the whole like not liking some of the things that countries do, but still wanting them to have rights to life and not have innocent people killed. You know, like that. I don't know. I feel like being anti-genocide with no caveats is the better position. Maybe I'm crazy, you know. Maybe I'm just a crazy guy. See, that's what I asked that when they came in here. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I see that on my Streamlabs. I think it's Stream Elements. I see that on my Stream Elements thing, and I was like, that's so cool that it shows up in like a third-party program. I love that. I want swag. Give me swag. I need swag. By the way, do you know Mr. Beast? I would not associate myself with that guy. If I did, I would pretend I didn't. But no, I do not.
Hey, bro, you ain't...
I have never met Johnny M. Beast. I have never attended any events or parties. You know this is going to come out later, probably. You know, I have never hired anyone or exploited any employees under the direction of Mr. Beast. He's going to show up in some 5th generation Epstein log. At least, maybe not. I don't know. But he just doesn't seem like a very ethical guy. Just from the way that he has treated his employees and how he interacts with his community.
Atheist, right? Yeah, I'm an atheist. Alright, so I got a question. Why do you hate...
It's hinky. I'll say it's hinky. You know, like, it's hinky. It's hinky. He's almost my age. Isn't he? He's like maybe 10 years younger than me. So like in his 30s. I don't know. Some are weird, some are cool. Yeah, well, that's like if we I don't want to alienate myself from the game development community, all right? I don't want that to be the case, all right? But if I was to sit in a room as my 13-year-old self, if I was to sit in a room with like the developers of WoW, right? I might be like, you know, backslapping, hemming and hawing, laughing at all the jokes and stuff, and really being like, man, we really should have put more sexual references in WoW. These days, I would probably consider them weird. Mostly because of that stuff. It was a jocular environment. It was mostly men, but that's a problem in and of itself. I don't know. I feel like most people in the creation space who are around our age probably have a little bit of weirdness to them, you know? Well, yeah, and I hope that that is the considerations that are made amongst all of the, well, would we say cancellations, I guess? Not really. I don't think anyone really got canceled, but amongst the pushback. But I think, yeah, if I was to look back, or if I was to be sitting in the room with the Blizzard dev team, I'd be like, dude, guys, hang on. Like, just chill for a second. Just hang on. You know, I've done this before in my room at night. Late at night, you know, when I was a kid. I mean, not kid. When I was, I don't want to dig myself into a hole here. Let's move on. So I was even gonna try and be like, you know, I won't jaywalk, but I don't really want to. I don't really care that much about it. This is really just for funsies. But I'll try to be as conscientious as possible. Get the fuck away from me, please. Okay, no, I'm not doing anything illegal. See? I'm not doing anything illegal. You have no reason to stop and frisk. Excuse me? Why? What? Yeah. Go ahead, just walk casually in that direction. He almost killed me. Fucking stare me down. What the fuck are you doing? Just because I have some, like, somewhat tan skin? Don't I? Am I still tan? No, well, I've got blonde hair. I enjoy your hat. I like it. Yeah, this company is called Empire, I believe. I think. I don't think it's on there. By the way, why your channel is raw? There's some sweet schedule mods I'm going to do next time I do a playthrough. Oh. Now mods sounds like fun. What? Did he just crawl out of the ground? What just happened there? Why would he fall over? What did he do? Did he just fall over just cuz? Oh, probably hit by a car. All right. Well, that I can understand. It was weird. It was a weird experience. Whoa! Whoa! That's the sound of progress. Like, I mean, you didn't set up anything on your channel. Oh, yeah, I mean... Okay, I mean, it was a little far away. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know. Twitch isn't really the main platform, I guess. Is taking the dirty money a crime? Not if nobody sees it. People ethically take dirty money all the time. You know? Money laundering is technically legal if you know the right loopholes. Don't fucking semantics me. Okay, Benzies. You win. You've prevented me from taking even a recreational dab here and there, okay? But did you have to go after my halogens? Oh, I see, but your content is great. Well, tell that to the right people, and then, you know, they'll come flooding in, right? You know, I just, if it is a thing that wants to happen... What's that? If it's a thing that wants to happen through the universe or whatever, then cool. But, I mean, it's really comes down to how much of a time investment I can make. I think you can get famous because of your content. Well, that's extremely kind words of you. It really comes down to the time investment that I can make into building out the channel and stuff. And I mean, I did back in the day, like I did back in the Dizzy, in the Diggity, if you will. But it wasn't as fun for me as just generating the content. And so I put the relative information in like usually thumbnails and descriptions and stuff like that, rather than the landing page, you know, for most things. The link tree's up. I don't know if it's still functional because it seems to break every week. But you know, it's there. Exercise it. Man, I was just going on muscle memory. I actually had no idea where I was. I wasn't consciously going anywhere. Skippy, you are not in my demographic. You are the trolliest of trolls that have been here. And thankfully, your commitment to this WoW bit has been refreshing, thoroughly refreshing. It's like we're in 2002 again, you know, the year of WoW's heyday, 2002. That was you know, that was its prime year, 2002. Yep, that's right. You guys remember 2002 when WoW was in full swing? I believe they were on like their Zul'Gurub updates by 2002. You get many viewers if you do just chatting and talk political or religious points because nobody talk this type of thing in their streams. There are very many YouTubers and Twitch streamers who talk about politics. It's not a bit. There you go. There you go, just keeping me impressed. Yeah, I can do 75 a week. That works. That works. I mean, I won't even need it. I'm not going to check out my motel room, all right? Tutorial, don't fucking tell me what to do. I need to get to this guy before he closes. Don't you fucking walk out of your goddamn store. Do not fucking walk out of your goddamn store. I swear to God, you piece of shit. Hey! Thanks for hanging out. Ah, shit. I gotta... No, stay in your fucking... You better stay in your fucking... God damn it. Stay. I don't know what time it is. I don't have time to look at the time... Yeah, you motherfucker. No, I don't want to talk to you. Get out of here. Shut up. I'll raise you as my orc child. I could be real life Thrall, so real life Jesus. Oh, we were well within... I already went to the hardware store. Shut up. I can't sleep yet. It's not 6. God damn it. Earth Fury server. Skippy, I don't play WoW anymore. And mysterious things like Illuminati, Area 51, like these things. You will never irritate me. I assure you. Unless you're actually spouting Nazi bullshit, then you will never be irritating to me. I welcome any and all people. I'm normally, typically, in general. Even contrasting viewpoints. And we did, sometimes we do like Mystic Mondays or, you know, when we look at like conspiracies and aliens and ghosts and whatnot. But it's been a bit. I think maybe we did one last week where we were talking about magic. But yeah, it's been a bit. Who knows? Maybe sometime in the future. Never know. There we go. Okay, go to sleep. We got a full day of trash collecting. And then we're going to see how much funds we can get. We're going to go risk it all. We're going to risk it all. We're going to risk it for the biscuit. I don't know if the biscuit's going to be good enough, but some biscuits are. Especially if it's like a buttermilk biscuit. Get out of here, phone. Like a buttermilk biscuit from like a really good Greasy Spoon diner. You know? I think that'd be pretty good. I think that would be pretty tasty. See, we're just casually picking up trash. Super cash. And there you go. That's the loop. That's the gameplay loop for this little bit here. And then and the reason why I'm doing this for a whole day is just because it seems I'm just using that as a unit of measurement. It seems to be like kind of how long it took me initially to just kind of figure out what I wanted to do. I'm not going to reveal it now, but it's pretty obvious to anyone who's ever played this game before which strategy I'm going to go for. Oh, is there stuff under there? No. But yeah, I mean, you pretty much just start out like this. I don't know, is this like a... Would this be like a speed run strategy? Probably not. Probably not. No. I'm just thinking about it now, the logistics, and I don't think that would be like anything a speedrunner want to do. Ever? Ever in a million years. No, sir. Although, I will show off a trick that I learned. I don't know if this is a widely known thing, but did you guys know that you can prop fly in this game? Yes, you can tell me anything you'd like, Baby Ashley, but I'll call you Ash, because I don't like saying Baby Ashley. It makes me feel weird. Uncomfortable, I mean. So you can prop fly in this game. I don't know if you guys knew that. Ah, shit! Normally you can just go a lot higher than that, but... yeah. More trash. More trash. It's trash day. Garbage day! Do you guys remember that movie? That bit obscure? I may be the only person in the last year who's seen that movie. And I won't reveal it, if you can guess it. By the way, I'm an artist. Ah, is this where the sales pitch is coming? I feel a sales pitch coming on. Not that I blame you, but, you know, I can spot him a mile away. I've been known to identify a sauce at a great distance, too. Was that a... Oh, I thought that was a ghost car. I don't... Excuse me, sir. I don't think that's a thing. A ghost car. But I wouldn't mind it. I would travel around in a ghost car. What? I thought I could pick these up. You son of a... I want to pick these boxes up. I didn't really have a reason behind it. I just kind of wanted to. But it's shitty it didn't want to let me. Piece of shit game. You piece of shit game. I want to fly away. Bye. Bye-bye. I'm leaving. Oh, I guess I'm coming back. We're good. And if you're interested, can we talk about it after the stream? I am not interested. Thank you, though. Very much appreciated. And I support your support of the stream. Sadly, I am not in a place financially to support really anybody else myself. Otherwise, I would have a channel manager, you know? And I'd be paying them... Oh, I'd be paying them so... Oh, fuck! Good thing there's no... Oh. Well, there goes my ball. It's quite a shame. It's quite a shame. That was my ball. And if you can't ball, I mean, ball is life. What are you going to do? You know? I also wish they made a second WoW movie. People, they give up on those franchises too early, you know? They could have made some good. Could have made some good out of it. And I don't blame the director either. He really fucking tried. Duncan Jones? Was that the director or the actor? No, that's the director, I think. Duncan Jones? Is that... Am I remembering correctly or incorrectly? I think I'm correct. You see how casual this is? You see how you see how cash we're being? We're being so cash right now. You know? This is like the ultimate casuality. No crimes yet. I mean, I guess vandalism, because we're jumping on cars and stuff, but I'm not going to restrict my parkour skills just to fit within Johnny Law's expectations, you know? I think that's unfair. And nobody should really expect that, okay? Should be able to run and jump and play like all the other boys. Come on. And then once we are, I think, well into the night, we're gonna see how much money we've got, and then we're gonna do the damn thing that I have yet to describe. Ooh, it's so special and secret. Ooh, can you guess what it is? You can probably guess. You can probably guess exactly what it is. Why are people just throwing out whole cigarettes? Seems wasteful, right? An opulent society we live in. Too much opulence. Not enough copulence. Cops. Police catching people for littering because we're doing the ethical thing, you know? We're being ethical here. Yep, see, just as I suspected. We're almost going to be at about $100. And the day's getting long. Longer and longer. So as long as we have like around $150, I think we'd probably make that work. It takes money to make money. You know? I'm sure I'm not the only one who believes that. But in this case, it's just as true as it always has been. And we're cleaning up the community, you know? We're giving trash the old heave-ho. And what more could we do? At nighttime is when I will go ahead and play another of the videos of the Christian variety. Just so that we can keep that theme going, you know? At least give my title some validity so that it's not entirely clickbait, right? Did I have pending cash at that other one? Come here, bird! Next time. Next time. I bet you there's probably trash up on top of this roof here. Okay, I don't know why I thought that. Who's climbing up a ladder to put trash on a roof, you know? I figured maybe like someone would throw bags up there. You know. Can we talk about Operation Epstein Fury? Is that a... I think that it's important to call it what it is, Epic Fury, which is just such a stupid fucking name that it really deserves to just be called out. Exactly how it is. It's bad enough on its own. It doesn't need to be spoofed. Yeah, there's some trash right there for you. See, I'm an entrepreneur. You see all this entrepreneurship that's happening right now? Ooh, boy. Ooh, we are entrepreneuring hard. Real hard. Alright. Get off me. We're collecting cash. We about to smash this game. This is laws of physics. What time is it? What time is it? 4:51. It is almost time for the super fun, awesome, mega special money-making adventure. I don't know if you guys are ready about it. I don't know if you guys are ready for it. Are you ready for the perfect, whatever the word was, storm? 'Cause once you're mine, don't go with black. Remember that? Remember that song, guys? Don't go with black. Are they gonna repair this? I think that's the thing this game really needs is like a complete blowout of the map. Like it needs just just the biggest increase to the map size that anyone's ever seen anywhere in any video game ever. Ever. Who the F chose video games? Somebody actually put video games? Oh man, it has to be, you know, for controversy, right? Like that. Oh no, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal. See, look, I'm cool. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. Look, got nothing. You got nothing on me. Nothing. Hi, cool you're playing video games, but that's sinful. Really? Which sin? And that's not like a gotcha, but I'm curious as to which sin it is that I am currently engaging in. Love to know. I'd love to know. Because even just having a live stream would be seen as sinning, right? Wouldn't that be somewhat prideful? Look at this guy's fucking shades. Oh, I love them. I love them. I want those shades so bad. And he's going into a bar. Fuck yeah, dude. This man is my hero. Oh, you're so powerful. See, even his truck is indestructible. I bet you he made that crack in that building. Can I get up? Can I get up? Can I get up? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the commandment that I'm breaking by playing a video game. You know, the Satanic Panic was over, like, in 1995, right? Like, that ended. That's no longer a thing. You can believe, I mean, you can fully believe that video games are demonic if you want, but they're literally not. I don't know, just a silly joke. Just a silly ha-ha. Well, I'll see your silly ha-ha and raise you a guffaw. Alright. Alright, here we are. This is the trick. Oh, you see, guys? This is the trick. See? That's it. That's all there is to it. This is how you break the game, you get rich. You start out with just the 10s, and you really hope that you get a jackpot. Otherwise, you're collecting trash the next day. Actually, there's probably enough trash out here to get more. Yep. And then you just really rinse and repeat. Oh, God. What's up, man? I also remember my mom worrying about it until she watched us play D&D one time. She was like, yeah, people are stupid. I fucking know, dude. Like, the majority of my childhood, my mom did not want to let me watch The Simpsons. And I forget when, but I think I just had it, like, on one time, like, at a friend's house or something. And she sat down and she was like, what is this? And I was like, this is The Simpsons. And she was like, oh, turn this off right now. I don't want you watching this. And I was like, just watch. Like, they were in the middle of a joke or something. And I was like, just watch it. It's not bad. Like, there's nothing bad about this. And she's just like, she just sat, like, she paused for a couple of seconds. And she realized that it was just really benign and, like, just adult humor rather than adult humor. What's the name of this game? It's, this game is Schedule 1. It's about creating drugs, but we're not doing that. We're doing a completely ethical playthrough. Maybe a completely legal playthrough. Legal within the eyes of the people who matter. How close were they to the corner? Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. That's right. Oh! I hate getting chased by the police in this game. It is so annoying. There's no rhyme or reason why they should be able to see you through walls, but they, gosh darn it, they do. All the damn time. Very frustrating. And why are there cigarette butts here? Out in, like, on the cliffs. Are people, like, having a good smoke before they die? Plunge off the rocks? This jazz is making me angry. Alright? I'm about to lash out. Oh, I don't... It must be red jazz. The real music is in between the notes. I don't know if you guys knew that. You gotta listen between the notes, man. More cash. More cash. Can I reduce it to 5? I think I remember that you can reduce it to $5. You just need as little as possible so your money lasts as long as possible. Yep, perfect. See, we should have done this from the very beginning. You know, in for a little, in for a lot. Okay. Some wins. Getting a little bit of money there. Get a little bit. Keep it going. Just need one jackpot, and then we can go up a tier. That's how I measure it. I just go up. You go up one. No. Helonum Amastekala. Oh man, you're gonna have to tell me how to refer to you. How's it going? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know how to say that. Hell on. Why don't you say hell on? Hell on earth. Give me a $3 play, you... Alright, whatever. We'll pull into our reserves. I'm going to withdraw everything. What is it? 280? Screw it. We're going all in. We're just gonna burn it. Bro, you forgot me. I mean, I see a few people. A few unique people a day, man. Why are you hounding me right now? It's 10 o'clock. You still got 1 hour before your food. Hello, ah, there you go. I did your reading. Yeah, I did a lot of readings that day, man. I heard about that jazz between the tunes, less is more. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true. It's, you know, it's all art. We all do art around here. What? Yes! And there it is. And there it is. We're going to go up a tier. And then once we get a jackpot in this tier, then we do rinse and repeat. Same thing over and over again. See, this gives us a lot of wiggle room. And there you go. We just keep doing this until either we run out of money, or until we keep moving up tiers. So let me put on another video and see.
Oh, you're an atheist? So you believe everything came from...
This guy says 3 reasons I am atheist. Let's go through them one by one and show why they are bad arguments. His first claim is that science offers better explanations. In his opinion, natural phenomena are better explained by science without invoking the supernatural.
Well, yeah, because all it is just, oh, but it's God.
Of religion is. It's not to explain the natural, but rather to explain where the natural came from in the first place.
I feel like you're misunderstanding the purpose of religion.
If we want to look at things outside of the natural world, like because of the natural world, we need to invoke the supernatural. His next claim is that morality should come from empathy, reason, and desire for societal good, not religious doctrine. I'm not sure he realizes it, but he's actually arguing against himself here. Objective morality is one of the biggest problems for atheism. As he says, he's just sharing...
Jesus, okay, yeah. I mean, it tends to be pretty easy for people to say that morality doesn't exist when you're fed your morality by fucking God. What is this dumb game? Have you ever created a video game? It's a fun game. And I wouldn't hate on something that somebody else created just because it doesn't look fun to you. It's weird to come out the gate like that. But it's called Schedule 1. And it's actually a very fun game. We're playing it completely legally, which is not how you normally play the game.
His first claim is that science offers better explanations. In his...
That's not really he said that you
natural phenomena are
well,
better
I'll let him
explained
make the
by
case.
science without invoking the supernatural. This claim completely misunderstands what the purpose of religion is. It's not
No, I think you do, good sir.
to explain the natural, but rather to explain where the
No, I didn't create this game, but I mean, I have just a baseline respect for people who do create video games that I consume.
natural came from in the first place. Science
Because I know that I can't do it. You know? That's just a basic level of respect to have for another human being.
is the study of the natural world. So if we want to look at things outside of the natural world, like the cause of the natural world,
And who does that? Whoever does that. If you're fucking sitting at a table with your boys, enjoying some wings or what have you, whatever you enjoy in your life, and you just are talking normally, are you talking about where the universe came from? Is that a debate that you're having with your family members? And is it a discussion that you listen to when you're in church on Sundays? I'm gonna say no to like all of that. That's not what you would call a kitchen fucking table issue. It is, or a dinner table issue, whatever the fuck. It is simply a thing, a tactic that you use to try and debate your way into God existing. But again, even if you're trying to answer where the natural world came from, having to tread into the spiritual or the supernatural, it doesn't just automatically mean God. And Christians cannot accept this. They're like, well, then what is it? And it's like, I don't fucking know. But that's the difference between us, is that you assume you know, and I assume that I know nothing. That's the big difference between us. And I don't try that. If I assume I know nothing, then why would I ever try to impress that upon anybody else? Yet if I assume I know exactly what it is, and I hear all these people around me just denying that and saying, well, you don't have any proof, do you? Then I'm probably going to get incredulous, and I'm going to be like, why wouldn't you believe me? And it can spiral into physical violence, conquering nations, ethnic cleansing. I'm describing Christianity, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm describing Christianity. I'm actually going to move the mic here so that when I do a funny getting close to the mic, as if speaking into somebody's ear thing, then you can actually see it, you know, then I can be like, I'm talking about Christians right now. You know what I mean? I really like Dave Matthews Band. All right. I appreciate you willing to share.
we need to invoke.
I don't hate them,
His
I
next
guess.
claim is that morality should come from empathy, reason, and desire for societal good, not religious doctrine. I'm
I'll let him make his argument, but this is one that I hear all the fucking time.
not sure he realizes it, but he's actually arguing against himself
No, he's not.
here. Objective morality is one of the biggest problems for atheism.
No, it's not.
As he says, he's just sharing an opinion on where he thinks morality should come from. Without a religion, without a moral lawgiver, it's all just opinions. Finally,
Right. But I think maybe you're on chat screen or the actual thing itself. Oh yeah, we're still stuck at Helena's sup bro. I will not ever play Vanilla WoW again. You will not convince me. And how do I do this? How do I refresh it? It really is only the it's just the chat thing. Like, it's just the chat thing that is being used here. Alright, well, I'll turn it off for now. I guess we don't really need it. It's funny how we always get less chatters when I put the vertical mode into sub only mode. It's strange. It's almost like people just come in here to talk shit. Weird. Yeah, I don't know how to make it go. I wish I did. Yeah. I'm at a loss. Properties. Refresh browser? Oh, refresh cache of current page. Haha! Alright, I reset it. Okay. I think it should work now. We shall see. We shall see.
He says that since he's atheist, he can question his own beliefs. I'm assuming he's trying to imply that Christians can't question their own beliefs.
Oh, come on. Why would you be trying to fucking bandy that out? You do not have as much free will as you think you do. You abide by 10 rules that are just incontrovertible. Like, you can't, there's no way that you can wiggle past them. Daily reminder, God wants you to be his child. If I don't believe in God, then God doesn't want anything, Randy. By believing in what Jesus Christ has done for you and receiving his Holy Spirit. Source. Trust me, bro. You know that almost never works to convince people, right? If anything, proselytizing typically drives people away from religion. So, thank you for doing my work. Goose, do you have a crystal ball? Not... Probably like little novelty ones, but I don't have like an actual, like, big one. If I did, it would be made of crystal, and that would be fucking cool. It'd be hella cool. Hella cool, alright? I don't know if we're bringing that phrase back.
However, this simply isn't true. The writings of St. Thomas Aquinas are a perfect example of how Christians can question their own beliefs. In Summa...
Yeah, so go read an 800-page book, and then you should know what my argument is. Go fuck yourself. Like, can't you just present what he said in the book? Or are we just going to...
Summa Contra Gentila, St. Thomas Aquinas questions all of Christian doctrine, including everything about the natural world. He comes to the conclusion, using logic alone, that God is real and that God is the Christian God.
Ah, so, philosophy. Interesting. Well, no, but I was talking about the Thomas Aquinas book he was talking about. It looked thick, but not Bible thick.
Should come from. Without a religion, without a moral lawgiver...
Okay, but now who's the lawgiver-giver? Who's the one that designates that God is able to give laws? Like, if you can't... Okay, but who created God? Okay, but who created that? Okay, but who created that? Like, how is it that... Again, we've heard this about 1 million fucking times. It's not a good... Philosophy is not good to use to argue the existence of God, because you can argue pretty much anything through philosophy. Using logic trees, using fucking flowcharts, I can convince anybody to vote fucking Democrat. Because you can put whatever you want as all the different factors of why you should or shouldn't do things. Every single bullet point can just be laid out in a way that could potentially trick people, where you are leading people on like logical loops into thinking the way that you want them to think. It's like you're trying to mind control them or some shit. And that's why nobody ever reads the Bible, because if they did, they would know that it's full of contradictions and endless hypocrisy. And you're just like, this seems like a big loop that we just keep being on all the time. And I would like to get off this loop, please, Mr. Loop Operator. Why is the video... Oh, no, it's not. He's just halfway on the screen. I thought I done screwed up again. Screwed it up again. Oh, dear Lord. Dear juicy Lord.
It's all just opinions. Finally, he says that since he's atheist...
I mean, we discovered logic. We made words. We went, Oh, baby, my love. You know, we made all the noises into the words. Language evolved. And then we made words for ethics and morals and things like that. Don't you guys remember, like, or don't Christians, letter to Christians, don't you guys remember how, like, we have all these paintings and, like, etchings of people in symposiums discussing good and evil and things like that? Like, how is Christianity evil? We're not deciding how Christianity is evil, Matthew. We're asking which is more evil, Christianity or video games. I was going to say something regarding causality, expansion of the universe, but I'm not caffeinated enough right now. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't know.
Objective morality is one of the biggest problems for atheism, as he's...
I mean, I go... See, again, I don't think that it's a good idea to get caught up in nuance. Like, is God the arbiter of ultimate morality? It should be over, does God exist or not? And if you can't determine God exists, then you don't move further with that reasoning. But, like, I don't know. I think that it's pretty easy to see how civilization and society came about and how that evolved and how our social relationships evolved. And you don't necessarily have to put God there. Subjective, though, isn't it? Yeah, just like most things, including morality. Like, you can very easily see how language evolved, how we, like, started defining words, how culture evolved, and how we got away from, you know, murdering indiscriminately into forming societies that encourage development of culture and diverse thought and, you know, creating larger structures for better societies and civilizations in the future. And you don't get there by doing immoral things, but you can see the evolution of morality throughout time if you simply just look, right? Like, people used to think that women not voting was the norm. It was the societal norm, and it was just seen as, like, a thing that happened. Like, that was morally acceptable. Slaves were morally acceptable at some point. In Germany, Nazism was morally acceptable even as they were marching people onto the trains to go to the camps. Like, morality seems pretty fucking subjective. And they were, a lot of those people, slave owners and Nazis alike, were doing things for who they believed was God. Whether or not it was true, whether or not they were true Christians, in the sense of the word that you may agree on, they thought that they were doing it for God. My personal take on religion is closer to natural pantheism. I wouldn't preach it to anybody, though. You know. Well, isn't that sort of the druidic way? You know, isn't that more of like, you gotta keep to yourself, and if someone discovers you, you turn into an animal and scamper away. Alright? I don't need nobody disturbing my nature times. Because you may be pooping. You know? That's, I mean, it is a possibility. You may be pooping. And if you're not pooping, what are you doing? My sole reason for shifting into an animal would be so I could poop as that animal. Alright? Let it be known here and forever. The only time I would ever shapeshift is to relieve myself. Alright? Not number one. Maybe at the same time, but definitely number two. Alright? Don't forget it. I don't need you guys forgetting this stuff about me, okay? We need to be building a list. Don't put me on a list. At least not the wrong kind. Specifically a boomkin. It's been a while. It's been a while since I have played boomkin, but man, it started to get pretty fun. It's been a while since I played retail version. But it was definitely... the playstyles have gotten a lot more involved. Immersive. I guess. I don't know. The gameplay itself has been
He's
watered
just sharing
down.
an opinion on where he thinks morality should come from, without a religion, without a moral law.
Right, and I think what he's demonstrating is actually very good here as an argument for atheism, because he doesn't need a god to declare himself wanting to adhere to ethics and just natural morality, like just like the way that we've decided to do things. So he's the person who created this is giving a much better argument for atheism than the person who is reacting to it is giving against.
Giver, it's all just opinions. Finally,
See, like you're just completely diminishing when a person, regardless of whether they're religious or not, says, I want to do good in the world, then you have to just assume that you don't even fucking know what good is. How do you know what's good? That's such a stupid fucking way to approach that conversation. You really could say, I mean, shit, like, you really shouldn't just be, like, trying to challenge what people think is good or not. Do you think murder's good? No? Okay, then we share the same moral fucking framework. Jesus Christ. It's like a superiority thing. Like, you have to feel like you are... it's a holier than thou. You have to feel like you are holier, like you are more divine, and therefore you are a better person than the person you see as demonic, who is the atheist. Popularity contest, man. God doesn't care if he exists. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about you. He didn't give a shit about fucking Jesus. He didn't give a shit about anybody.
This is the one question an atheist cannot answer. Let's play.
Let's listen to you. Let's watch you react, or let's watch me reacting to you reacting to an answer that, or a question that atheists can't answer. Okay. Horses poop so much. Okay. Don't murder Adolf. It's immoral. It would be immoral to just indiscriminately murder somebody, in general, no matter how evil they are. Yeah. It is bad to murder someone. You don't solve murder by murder, do you? You deliver justice by, you know, holding them accountable, bring them to court. If they go out in a hail of gunfire, then sure. But
Play it.
I don't know. That's believe that atheists and agnostics, once they like choose that path from their point of view, do you believe that they can't be as moral as Christians?
Oh no, atheists, agnostics can be just as moral as anybody else. The question isn't, do you need God to be moral? You have to believe in God to be moral. No. There's atheists that are very moral.
he's shaking his head like, nah, man, there's no way. There's no fucking way atheists can be moral. Nah, don't you even fucking try that. The whole yap you just went on was completely devoid of logic. Okay, give me examples. Let me know where I deviated from logic. I'm happy to know.
Is, can you justify morality without God? And that's the problem, right? It's not, can you act morally? Of course, atheists can act morally. The question is, can you justify what is moral without God? And I say...
But yeah. Either by saying it was the right thing to do, or because I believe that it was what we needed to do as a society. Or how does it... You can't justify your own morals? Why didn't you kill that guy? Because it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because ending that person's life would have denied them any opportunity that they might have had to influence the world in a good way. Is that not an acceptable answer? I feel like it is. Goose, I forgot to mention this. We've been starting to figure out what next campaign is going to be. Still months away at this point. We're leaning towards a few different systems complex, but notably another Monster of the Week campaign. Nice. Or Star Trek Adventures, probably late 24/7. I don't know anything about Star Trek, so I would be at a loss culturally. But I have no problem with it. I have tried watching like retrospectives, and I've tried watching like old episodes and stuff. It is just there's so much to learn and see.
For me, I was raised in a family with
I recently committed to watching every single MCU project over again. And I just got past Infinity War and Endgame. And I'm like, this has been a fucking slog. And then I'm gonna watch them again because I want to make videos about it. And like just kind of point out stuff that I liked and that I would have done differently, and just, actually have like scripted content and stuff. But yeah, that's been a slog. Trying to familiarize yourself with such dense universes. Because I've also been watching a lot of long reads of comics while I'm watching the MCU projects over again to try and get context too. So it's like dense upon dense upon dense. So I imagine that's what learning things like Lord of the Rings, like all of the lore to that, would be difficult. Or not difficult, but just a slog, Learning about the Dick Tracy universe, fuck. That thing's like, what, 30, 40 years old and just dense as all get out. "50-some-odd years ago, a man named Gene Roddenberry had a vision. I'm a little stoned, so it's hard to see, to focus on the red ball. My eye wants to drift. I don't know if you guys know that. I've got a bit of a lazy eye. The glasses are supposed to correct it, but they do not work very well. So as you can see, we got a jackpot, so we did move up a tier. And once we get to 100, we'll be sitting pretty. Get a couple jackpots from that. We'll be doing, hell yeah, doing damn good. Well, Star Trek debuted in 1966, so 60 years since then. Ah, Jesus! But presumably more years for that than that for the Vision. Yeah, probably. That was actually a quote from Frasier. Can you guess which character? I don't know if you're familiar with Frasier, but that's a very specific character.
They, not conceited, but with very high morals.
Okay.
Respect.
Yeah, good.
Everyone's point of views. I'm very open-minded.
So, just to refresh our collective memories, yes, you very much can justify your morals without going to God.
How would that?
I mean, just feel free, any of you Christians out there who believes that you can't justify morals without God, feel free to ask me a moral question, then ask me to justify it. I absolutely will. I promise.
If, like, I think
No fibbing here.
I'm a decent and moral person.
Well, let's back up for a second and ask
Oh,
question,
God!
What is the purpose of life? Is the purpose of life to be moral?
No. Purpose of life is to procreate. Pretty universal across the board.
I don't know. That's no, I wouldn't. Well,
You can interpret your purpose differently if you have some passionate belief in something. But in general, the biological imperative to survive is in order to continue on our genes. It's to procreate and to thrive. That's what any creature wants, regardless of how complex their emotional and mental capabilities are. We all just want to survive.
I guess I would say no. But,
What is the purpose then?
to make the world a better place.
That would be then being moral. Why?
Well, no, that's more of like a passion. That's like a part of a core value, wanting the world to be a better place. That's more of a personal belief, and it's not really that's not really like a purpose. Like there's many things that are involved in making the world a better place. You don't just say that my purpose is to make the world a better place. How? Darth Vader was an atheist. He did a lot of killing. He had no values. Are there gods other than the Jedi gods? Like the three, the father, the mother, and the tree bark giant? Are there... Stop. Don't you fucking stare at me. Are there gods? Is there like is there an Abrahamic god in the Star Wars universe? I'd be interested to know. Is Abeloth a god? Life is probably part of the whole engine of entropy. Emergent intelligence is probably more about information contextualization. Consciousness isn't really necessary for that, though. And I would say that if you want to use infinite regression as your argument for God, which is that's the one that I don't know enough about, like quantum physics to argue about. But like that to me would be the most reasonable thing. Like, how do we know how consciousness forms? We don't fucking know. We have no fucking clue. That could be God, could be just some kind of like cloud that's made of an unseen energy that we have not yet discovered, that allows us to somehow channel it. You know, like, could it be the warp? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, in a sense it would be. So that our children and grandchildren can leave.
Ah, see, to procreate. See, that's just a baseline instinct already. He's not even considering that his purpose. He's just assuming that we're going to pass something down to our kids and grandkids. Where's the fundamental basis of that? Is that you have to have kids and grandkids in the first place.
Burn out one day, so what's the ultimate purpose?
So that we can live longer and humans can...
To survive. And if you go beyond that and you say like, well, what is the reason that you want to survive for? And you could say many different, like that could be like your inner purpose. That could be your personal mission to make the world a better place. I want to make, I want to make my kids proud. I want to, I want to help disadvantaged peoples. There's a bunch of different things that you can say that don't need like some God backing it or a moral framework and this whole set of justifications in order to make it cogent or legit.
Down the earth.
You can just want to make the world a better place just by default. Because people are not born religious. Like, you can live your whole life without religion and still want to make the world a better place. It doesn't require some nebulous moral framework that's handed down by a entity.
We're gonna spin out, we're gonna go to heat death. So is there any ultimate purpose? There may be short-term purposes, but no ultimate purpose.
You see, like, now you're probing. Chewbacca was definitely an agnostic. That I wouldn't know. I don't purport to know Chewbacca's current stance on religion, nor will I try to speak for him. All right? That would be unkind and unfair. Wingstop makes the world a better place, but not for chickens, yeah? Although maybe for chickens, if they're, helping reduce the population, right? Because I would say chickens are probably overfarmed, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so...
Yeah. In the very long term.
Right, in the very long term, there's no purpose, so why even care about the short term then?
Right. You're just exposing your moral framework there. Or I guess lack of moral framework. If you're sitting here saying that if I didn't have religion, I wouldn't care about life or morality or anything, that's more of a self-report. As opposed to an argument against anything. If you say, what's the point? I'm just going to go out and murder somebody. Then, okay, but you're going against what most people would do. Just in general, if they didn't have religion. If you just don't have religion, that's just a lack. That's like not something that's having an impressive quality to your life. That's not something that's influencing you in any way. Moral frameworks exist regardless of whether God's there or not. People know that killing is wrong. It's fucking weird. Yeah. And even then, organized religions existed before Christianity. So is your God the one true God?
Right, but so did Stalin. And that Stalin lived a great life for himself and his children and grandchildren.
Right, and within his family, the things that he did were potentially seen as morally correct. Correct, yeah, that's how morality, that's how morality is subjective. Thank you for proving that, Mr. Religiousman.
By killing everybody around him and taking their stuff.
Yeah, and many Christians use the Bible to conquer countries and take slaves. Many Christians use the Bible to justify slavery in America. Many Christians use the Bible to conduct the Crusades and the Spanish Inquisition. So, at the time, for them, they thought they were being moral. But looking back objectively and saying killing people en masse, probably not a good idea, morality-wise, they still refuse to see that as they weren't real Christians. They weren't real Christians. It's all good. They weren't real. We won't take any responsibility for that. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I mean, if only that's why religious sects existed, like denominations of Christianity, if only that's why they existed and not just out of disagreement over some fucking word or something. If it really was a push just to like try to abolish all the bad shit in the Bible, that'd be cool. I'd be on board. By the way, Cynical, I don't know if you had ever engaged when you were living in the area. I don't know if you ever engaged in any of the food weeks. Like I think Seattle did those as well, but I know that in big cities it's like a pretty big popular thing to have like a food week. All that to say, this week for us here in Portland, it is Sandwich Week. And oh boy, it's been pretty good. I had some pimento cheese yesterday. And I also had it was called a duckaletta. So it was like a muffaletta, but like with duck breast, like thin sliced duck breast. Duck breast. So good. On some ciabatta. Woohoo! Got day.
Yeah, he's a bad person, so yeah.
But what do you mean by bad?
Right. We say he's a bad person, right? And so, because we have the ability to use hindsight to look at the actions of Stalin and see that all of the stuff he did was, pretty bad. And that's us looking at their morality, their moral framework, which they believe to be correct and moral. And we're applying our moral framework to that, which is pretty much the textbook definition for subjective. A restaurant week thing. Okay, yeah, I think... it has been ages since I lived in Seattle, but I think I remember something similar to that, but I'm not 100% certain. But we kind of do like a restaurant week thing here, but it's more so trying to get food to be more affordable. When... I hate to like put on my tinfoil hat here. Yes, we hit a fucking jackpot, you motherfuckers. I hate to put on my tinfoil hat here for a moment, but I kind of have to. If owners and business owners, took less money, if executives took less money, if everyone at the top tier of employment, if their standard of living came down just a little bit and they redistributed, I know that sounds very socialist of me, but they redistributed all the money back into the company so that they could pay workers more, so that they could invest in more safety and better conditions, better hiring practices, all that kind of stuff. If all that money went back into the company in the right ways, then food and gas would probably be way more affordable. Because then you don't need to justify making the revenue that it would cost to pay your executives their exorbitant salaries. If we incorporated laws, there are some state and city laws that say that you can only make a certain amount of money more than your lowest paid employee. And those are good starts. Absolutely. I would say that way better tax representation would be the second priority I would attack. But really getting everyone on the same level, or at least roughly the same level wage-wise in the first place, is going to help a lot more things become affordable. I don't know how we got onto affordability, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe the oils from my... I think that was just a rant I went on. I think I just went on a tangent. It happens. And it's more frequent than it's not. But yeah, this week is sandwich week, and it is probably one of my favorites. Burger week is, I would say, my second favorite. There's also pizza week. There's taco week. There's dumpling week.
It's I mean, it's not good to kill other people.
Why not?
Because that's what most
Who
people
said?
would say.
Yeah, but who said?
Society has agreed that killing people is wrong. We agreed about that for a very long time. For like the longest fucking time. Well, yes, this is I would say a banner day for that particular emoji. I award you 0 points and God have mercy on your soul.
Hitler said it was good to kill other people.
And Hitler's people agreed with him, and the government agreed with him. I mean, they kind of had to, but yeah, they all agreed with him at the time he was doing what was morally acceptable in Germany around that time. Yes, that disproves your objective morality claim.
Stalin said it was good to kill her. Why is that wrong? Why are they wrong?
Because morality is subjective, and we can look at those using our moral framework and know that it was wrong.
Because
Almost like morality is subjective. Weird.
they killed millions of people.
I know, but why is killing millions of people wrong if there's no God?
It was like that. Even in reading the Bible, you still know that killing was wrong. Even looking at like history as God created it, right? Even looking at the entire timeline in the Bible, we know that we as a human species, as people in the Bible, in God's moral framework, we know that killing's wrong. Even the people of the time who were taking slaves, like, you know, like how people try to justify taking slaves in the fucking Bible, they knew that killing was wrong back then. So morality existed before God created it. In history. Provable in history.
Because, I would just say because it's ruining the human race and it's...
Right, but it presupposes that there's some value to human beings, right? Mm-hmm. That presupposes that.
God does not exist. Objective moral values do not exist. And here's why.
Where's the... Why did that switch tones immediately?
Without some objective reference point, we have no way of saying that something is really up or down. God...
Well, in space there is no up or down. So I don't know why that's a thing. There's always going to be a moral blind spot. Enlightenment is a process, not an individual human scale. Well, yeah. Yet more proof against God. Because wouldn't he have designed it that way?
Nature provides an objective reference point.
Pizza week is generally, typically it's one of the best weeks because places that I don't normally get to go are doing like full-on pizza specials and stuff. And so I get to try something that I normally wouldn't. And they used to be at a fixed price, but now they're kind of doing like, restaurants hate, like on the owner side of things, it's really great because it increases their visibility, but on the worker side of things, it's they hate it. Workers hate it. And so the workers and chefs and people who make these specials on the menu, they try to make them as painless as possible, but they also try to make them as obnoxious as possible for the customer so that they'll just never order that again. Which is like unscrupulous. I wouldn't support that, but that's definitely what happens. Well, down is kind of whatever direction you're moving in space. Yes, because you're always going to be moving towards the most dense thing, right? Which would always be down. If your center of gravity is such that down to you is towards the direction of your feet, then standing still in space, let's say you gave it an infinite time frame, you would eventually move in the direction of the most dense object, right? So it's my understanding that if you were to orient your feet down to, well, I already gave it away there, but if you were to orient your feet towards that object, you would be going down. Going down?
For moral values. It's the standard against which all actions and decisions are measured. But if there's no God, there's no objective reference point.
But you're just saying that. You're just establishing something that is not a thing with this rhetoric. You're saying that Well, without God, you have no objective moral framework. Okay. According to you. But you can ask me questions about what I believe if I have to determine if I have morals or not. And if I have or express morals that align with what you agree are good morals, then you can't say that I don't have an objective moral framework. You're just going to get incredulous and upset because I've justified my morals, and to you that breaks your brain, to you, the average Christian. Fundamental Christian.
All we're left with is one person's viewpoint, which is no more valid than anyone else's viewpoint.
Come on, man. You can't be that self-aware and not understand it.
This kind of morality is subjective, not objective. It's...
Why does there need to be an objective morality? This is philosophical. This is in order, like, you're saying that there has to be. Nobody's saying that but you. Then you are saying that in order for there to be that, in order for this thing that has to exist because I say so, at the end of the day, it's always because I say so, there has to be this thing that exists, or else you can't do any of these things. Look at me! Look at me not killing! Look at me not abusing people! Hey, look at me! Look at me! Okay, well, what's the reason for that? Because it's wrong. Why is it wrong? Oh my God, because if I go out and murder somebody, I can take away all the potential they might have had to improve the world around them. Well, what's their purpose? Dude, you need to leave my party. All right? You're making everybody upset. You know what I mean? Like, infinite regression. So it all comes down to infinite regression. Goddamn splitting infinity, you motherfuckers. I also enjoy food, but I typically eat right after the stream. That is my reward to myself. A nice, delicious, probably plate of pizza rolls. Or some tortillas and some chicken stuff I made earlier.
You have to go to funerals.
I don't know
God
yet.
told the very first lie in history.
All right, let's hear it.
God said, if you eat from this tree, you'll die. That was a lie. He was the first liar ever.
How on earth was that a lie? Before eating of the fruit, Adam...
Because I'm pretty sure he didn't kill Adam and Eve. He just cast them out of the garden. They didn't die. Right? They still went on to have, like, children, didn't they? Lilith and all that? Am I wrong?
and Eve were immortal. And as soon as they ate of the tree, they became mortal, meaning that shortly after they would die, which...
Oh, okay. So, if I walk up to somebody and I say, Goose, have you ever read the Bible from cover to cover? Yes. I have indeed. If I was to just walk up to somebody and say, you're gonna die, then eventually they're gonna die. So does that make me God? Or am I a liar? If you step on that crack, you're gonna die. I step on a crack and then I die 50 years later. Was I right or was I wrong? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. You'd have to say that that's a bit of a reach.
They did.
And then they ate from the tree, which they didn't know was wrong, because they couldn't have known that was wrong, because they hadn't eaten from the tree yet.
Adam and Eve definitely knew what right and wrong was. You just don't understand the Hebrew. The word used for...
Oh, and see, here we are getting caught up in fucking interpretations of words. Do you see that? So people like this also believe that the term NASA means to deceive. You have some slow-acting curses.
Knowledge in the tree of knowledge of good and evil is da'at. Da'at does not just mean to know, but it means to experience.
Right. So we're not at all talking about whether or not God is real. Now we're talking about whether he's a liar. So we're assuming he's real. When, as far as I know, Forrest Valkai does not even believe in God. So I don't, what is your purpose? I guess I'm just going to throw the question back at you guys. What is the purpose? To deceive? To dispel deception? What is it? What is it? To enact justice? What is the purpose to this? To getting so caught up in some nuance when your opponent this person that you're reacting to doesn't even believe in the thing that you're talking about.
So Adam and Eve knew what good and evil was. They just hadn't experienced it yet.
And then all of a sudden they knew what right and wrong was, and in order to punish them, God made birth painful for women.
God making birth painful is actually a form of prophecy. When Mary gave birth to Jesus...
Oh, cool. I'm so glad that women get to experience that because he wanted to deliver a message. Super cool.
She had to
Thanks,
watch
God.
her son grow up and die on a cross. The pain that she experienced as a mother is a fulfillment of the birth pains that humanity was cursed to. Now that Christ and Mary have fulfilled that prophecy, humanity can have assurance that they can live without sin in heaven.
And said that
So, now that the message has been delivered, women no longer have pain during birth? No? Still do? So you're just talking a bunch of bullshit. Is that...
women have to be subservient to men.
It never says that women are subservient. It just says that husbands will lead their households. God did this...
Oh, what then? Weird, because that sounds like the fucking definition of subservient, right? If you're in a patriarchal household, who's in charge and who is submissive to that? Are you fucking dumb?
As a punishment and as a blessing. Eve was the one who ate of the fruit, so obviously she would be punished for that sin. However,
God makes the rules. He's the one that can determine whether people are gonna be, punished for something or not. And you're baiting them by saying, "Hey, there's this tree here. The fruit looks pretty good, and you'll be cursed with all the knowledge, whatever the fuck, all the knowledge in the world." Or who fucking cares?
for the institution of these marital roles is also a blessing to humanity. Women are called to submit to their husbands, and husbands are called to give up their lives for their wives. This makes both...
But you see the difference between the two, right? Because in the Bible, from what I know about the Old Testament, I mean, you couldn't really divorce, right? Like, you had to pretty much stay married, even if your husband raped you. Sorry. I don't know. I feel like... And women were, what would they considered property, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, handed back and forth between father and husband. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you don't really have a fair shake of it in the first place, then saying that you must also submit to your husband is kind of like nailing the coffin lid on, right? Is it not?
The husband and the wife fully dependent on one another, a perfect fulfillment of marriage. When atheists try to argue against the Bible, it just shows that they don't actually know what they're talking about. God bless.
I'm pretty sure Forrest Valkai knows what he's talking about. Is he not a Bible scholar? No, that's Justin, I think. He's got some pretty big degrees, and he debates people constantly who pull the same reasoning out of their hat that this guy just did. So I'm pretty sure he knows what he's talking about.
Okay, we are cooked. Yep, we are absolutely cooked, chat. GG.
Is this a famous, like, online guy? Because, I don't think I've ever said, we're cooked, chat, GG. I mean, I guess I've never really been a fan of using the current vernacular. Even when it was cool. When people were saying hella. I don't know. I feel like people sound like birds when they're all just saying the same words together. Bro, chill. But really, I don't know. People can do it in non-obnoxious ways. Maybe I'm only talking about bro dudes. I don't know. I don't know what the picture was in my mind when I was thinking about that being obnoxious. I have to explore that. I mean, it's not a massive win. A massive win would be the 3 7s that I'm looking for, you lying machine. Jesus. Come on. Hand-eye coordination is key here.
I spent 1 full month studying his religion.
Ah, yes. Already poisoning the well. But I guess we'll listen.
Hello, my name is Yuval Noah Harari, and I am an atheist.
He does not believe in God, but I do. So what can I learn
Right.
from him?
Not a religion.
1 full month, I
Lack
read
of a religion.
atheist books. I talked to atheist scholars, and I even got on a flight and traveled all the way to an island in the middle of nowhere, here, to study this one bird. Yep, this is the bird that inspired millions of atheists. Just one bird in the Galapagos Islands. This is the bird in the wild.
Ooh,
right there.
what
Can
the
you
fuck?
see it? It's so beautiful. But first, some background. I am an
So 0 atheists that I've ever known in my entire life have ever referenced a bird from the Galapagos to explain why they're atheist. Atheism is not a trend. You are born without religion. That's fucking weird. I hope this is fucking satire.
a 6-month challenge to study the top 6 religions, one every month. Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and even atheism.
Right. Atheism's not a religion. I don't know who out there needs to hear this. It's not a religion. You can call it one all you want, but that don't make it one. That's insane. That's simply insane.
This is what I learned from atheism.
Well, yeah, didn't you hear the story about Patmos? Like how there was like nothing to do, and the guy spent the entire time just being like not sleeping, being bored, not having anything to do, walking around, meditating, I guess. But the entire story he tells, he's like, I, was particularly sleep deprived, and I just spent like 13 hours meditating, and I walked out into the woods, and I, prayed, and I begged for God to talk to me, and then he filled my head with all these revelations. Is it not super reasonable to just, I think it's safe to assume that he was experiencing some deep hallucinations. Not to mention any of the many multiple substances he might have been on. You don't know. Like, boredom results in a lot of different things, including the creation of alcohol. It was kind of an accident, but once they found out that this like fermented barley water got them drunk, boy, they were really trying to recreate it. They tried to use dung. They tried to use a bunch of different types of like materials. They thought rocks might be able to make alcohol. It's almost like the level of intelligence that people who think that the flat Earth, or think that the Earth is flat, exhibit. God damn it. Alright, well, we're going to reduce it again. We'll go down to 10. I think 10's a good thing. A good baseline for most of this. Because I think there are probably statistical breakpoints where it gets more efficient, like certain denominations. Oh, hell yeah! Well, I'm glad that we fucking reduced that. You don't think there's a creator regardless of what religion says, like, just fuck the religion part. I don't have evidence to believe that there is a creator. I don't have convincing enough evidence. Even if I did, I certainly
First of
wouldn't like
all,
the Abrahamic
atheism
God.
is not a religion.
There you go.
agree,
Thank you.
But it is a movement. More than
No,
1
it's not.
billion people are atheists. They do not believe in religion. Many of them believe in science instead.
I think that being a good person has nothing to do with God. You can believe.
Right. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to determine that atheism is really just a state of being. It's a status. It's a state of being. I am my current status, not believing in God. That's all it is. It's a lack of something. I always get so confused how people who are Christian think that atheism is the presence of something. It's not. It's there in the name. It's just a void of. There's nothing there. There's not. There was never a thing in that. It's just a void. There's an empty space. It is a lack of something. And that seems to confuse people. I don't see why.
Islam and Hinduism.
Do you believe in divine energy in general? I do not believe that magic exists. I do not believe that... I mean, I'm sure that there's definitely stuff that we haven't discovered. Like, you know, break that fucking quark open and see what happens. But, yeah, I haven't seen convincing enough evidence to say that there is any kind of divine energy. Like, if you're talking about miracles or whatever, like, I don't know. Jesus having telekinesis? I don't know what you mean by divine energy.
First of all, atheism is not a religion. I agree. But it is a movement. More than 1 billion people are atheists. They do not believe in religion. Many of them believe in science.
Not astrology then, too. Why were you doing tarot?
You can believe, not believe, it doesn't matter. Being a good person is about...
I mean, I guess I have to answer your question with another question. Why do you think I shouldn't be allowed to do tarot if I don't believe in it? Seems a little gatekeepy, doesn't it? I believe that tarot is a deck of cards that is used to do magic by people who believe in that kind of stuff. I don't believe it's real, but that doesn't mean that you can't practice it or believe in it. I happen to believe personally that tarot is a good tool to kind of like align your focus, to allow you to focus on things that are resting in your subconscious that need to be brought to your conscious so that you can process them. Just like really most spirituality is, an effort to explain things we can't explain. And that includes sometimes our circumstances, you know? I mean, I guess I don't know what you mean by astrology, like horoscopes and stuff. I don't believe that they are real, like that they actually tell the future. But I do believe that they exist, because that would be weird if I didn't. Because they do exist. I mean, they exist as concepts. They're just not real magic or anything. Not real magic, not God or anything like that.
The atheist movement exploded in the 1850s when this exact book was published. It's called...
Nope. Nope. Atheism didn't explode. People are born atheist. Everybody is born without the belief in God. You are taught to believe in God. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing remains unseen. It's just, that's just plain facts. You are born atheist. Do you believe in reincarnation? I don't know. If it is a thing, and I get a chance to go around on this merry-go-round once more, I'd gladly take it. Although, it'd be ideal if I had some kind of recollection, you know, some kind of working knowledge of my past life, you know. Is it just your assumption, or like you believe that because you have an evidence? Are you listening to what you're saying? Why? How would you have evidence of nothing? If I don't believe in something, I don't need evidence to support that. I just don't happen to believe it. That belief is not there. You don't need evidence for something that doesn't exist. It's just not there. If you're thinking, or if you're asking if my being atheist or not believing that magic is real, if we're on the same page about that.
The origin of species.
Right. Exactly. Evolution. Evolution is somehow the one book that started atheism. No, sadly, my friend, no. People were born atheists long before God existed. Oh my lord. No. Atheists do not, as a group, base their entire belief system or lack of belief system on fucking the origin of species. That's insane. Bruh, it's there through people's words. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you saying that I should just believe, trust me, bro? Everything exists because of words. What are you talking about right now? Are you talking about God? You gotta say specifically what you're talking about and what your reasoning is. Otherwise, I'm not gonna know because of the delay.
Darwin was a British scientist who sailed for 5 years.
Who is not the Pope of atheism, and whose teachings in the so-called Bible of atheism are so fucking out of touch and outdated that nobody bases any arguments on fucking Charles Darwin anymore. I'm sure they did back in the Dizzy, but they certainly don't anymore. I'd venture that as a guess. No, astrology. Right. So you think that scamming people is real magic? Are you saying specifically horoscopes? Are you saying specifically numerology? Are you saying specifically tarot? What part of astrology? Are you saying specifically the idea that somebody could be psychic or channel psychic energy? Because no, that has never been proven before. Be real specific, man. I'm not needlessly gendering you. I call everyone man. Bleh. Just like I call everyone dude. Duder. Substantiate yourself.
To study the world. One day, his ship arrived right here in the very, very remote islands of Galapagos.
Do you see the very clear bias against Darwin and evolution here from this guy? Like, he's presenting him as someone who one time he took a 5-year journey to the Galapagos Islands, and then he wrote this book all of a sudden, and somehow that's why atheists believe what they do. That's what he's equating all of this to, like straight up right now. In the words that he's posting in this video. Bruh, then how are they also accurate with whatever I'm going through? Because they are designed that way. I'm pretty sure that I explain while I'm giving the reading how it's a scam. All of the interpretations for the cards, every horoscope you've ever read is so vague and broadly defined that anyone can reason themselves into applying it to what they're going through. That's why it's always so accurate. And that's why I say that tarot's a good tool to focus on what you're doing, because it's actually a psychological tactic that tarot people use, that psychics use in order to make those nebulous and ambiguous interpretations fit you. They take that as sort of like a template, and they apply it to you by inserting all the different pieces of yourself that they can determine just through perception or through cold reading. Or hot reading if you've set a meeting up like at an actual like psychic house, or like, you know, what, like if you're doing like a reading ahead of time, they can actually research you and then get information that way. But it's all a grift. It's all a scam. It is made to be psychologically, like you are supposed to connect to it psychologically. That's why I say it's a good tool, because it really does help you actually bring things from your subconscious into your conscious so that you can work on them. So it's good to do, like, if you're stuck, if you have writer's block, especially if you have writer's block, you can do like a fidget toy thing, you can play a video game. For me, it helps to lay out a tarot spread. And it usually is super accurate, right, to the character that I'm thinking of or the situation that I'm trying to work out. It's all very accurate, and it all has to do with exactly what I'm thinking. Crazy how that works, isn't it? It's almost like magic. It's almost like I'm psychic. But it is really just it can be a tool, but it is overall just a parlor trick. It's a scam, typically used to just give false hope to people and then to take their money. It sucks. And that's why I say, like, you know, if people are doing tarot and asking for money, which I've seen personally on lives on YouTube, that's why I tell people, like, don't pay money for tarot. Like, don't do that. Don't go to those channels, and do not pay for them to lie to you. Get a tarot reading from me for free, and actually, you know, I won't be attributing it to some divine thing. It's all you doing that work. And to me, that's way more motivating and fulfilling than any fake tarot reading could be. But so do you see how he's just diminishing? Goose, do you have any Christian friends? I do. My mom's Christian, actually. It's like he's setting it up. He poisoned the well in the first, like, 30 seconds. And then even though he explained that he believes that atheism isn't a religion, he then goes on to describe it as a religion. Because they have a book, they've got a supreme leader, they're a movement all over the world. How dishonest. See, Christians, they always got to be dishonest, man. They always got to make shit up.
Charles Darwin noticed something weird. He noticed that the same bird changed based on the island it lived in. In one island, the bird, this one, had a big mouth and was vegetarian. In another island, the same bird had a small mouth and was not vegetarian. The shape of the bird's mouth changed based on the environment. This shocked Darwin. Why did the bird evolve? And that is when
Can you connect this to atheism sometime soon, please? Holy shit.
He discovered that animals are not born perfect. Animals evolve over time. Their wings, color, and size change over generations in order to survive.
To deists, that could still be God.
Evolve, then maybe humans do too. Maybe we were not born perfect like Adam and Eve. Maybe humans evolved from monkeys. A lot of small changes.
Right. We just made that jump. We just went straight from birds to maybe humans came from monkeys. There was no thought process to that. There was no maybe evidence that we found of early hominid species or anything like that. Nothing at all. Nothing inspired us. We just feel like, hey, maybe that's what we look like. Maybe we look like monkeys. So maybe we came from monkeys. It's apes, by the way, but maybe that's what happened. Monkeys popped out a human one day.
A very big change.
Jesus fuck.
People ask, where did humans come from? We didn't come from this one big magical moment that God created people. Over billions of years, a lot of very, very small changes became us.
That is how Darwin came up with the theory of evolution. This theory shocked the world. But Darwin's theory was based on evidence that you can measure and see with your own eyes. It made people believe less in religion and more in science. it made atheism explode. Even though atheism...
He's conflating it with just any interest in evolution. You can believe in God. I mean, a lot of scientists are good scientists because they can put aside their own personal religious beliefs to further the field of science. Just like when our founding fathers wrote the Constitution, they were able to, they were deists, and they were not okay with religious theocracies, so they were able to put their religious beliefs aside and do what's better for the nation. Holy shit, dude.
Existed way before Darwin.
Science is better at giving answers because it is willing to admit its mistakes. People think that if you never make a mistake, that's the best thing. It's the worst thing. Now, religions refuse to admit it. Even when they admit it, they blame it on somebody else.
Now, stop for a second. Millions of you are religious and believe in God.
Millions?
I believe in God too. I'm not an atheist. But there has to be something we can learn from atheists, even if we disagree with them. What can we learn?
8 million followers?
From them? Well, I think I found the answer. The answer is simple. Curiosity and courage.
Aren't they
Atheists
precious?
think that you should be curious.
Aren't
In
those
other
atheists
words,
precious?
You should think for yourself, question everything, investigate, and seek knowledge. It's easy to believe what others want you to believe. It's hard to say, I don't know what to believe, but I'm going to
Well, at
be
least he's getting that
curious
message in the end there.
and find my own answers. Darwin sailed for 5 years searching for answers. He studied thousands of animals and wrote many books.
Okay, yeah,
because
hide all the good shit in the end of the, or at the
first thing you can
back
find
end of the
out from
video, okay,
atheism
but
is just to be
I agree with all
curious.
that.
That you ask a big question, you look for answers, and if somebody tells you, you
Calm
know,
down.
this is the answer,
I'll feed you in a little
then
bit.
you are
Oh,
not
it's
allowed
11:15.
to
All right,
question
fine.
Then
Give me a
you
sec.
go
I gotta
on
feed my
and
pups.
investigate.
Today, because
I'll put on a
of
different,
human
another
science,
video and let it play.
we can measure
So that way
the
you aren't just like
exact
sitting
speed of
there
light.
not doing
We
anything.
can measure the exact distance to the moon. We can sequence the human genome.
Yes,
We can
I'm gonna feed you in a
build
sec.
Cars that drive like us. And AI that can think
Drive like us.
You can be curious and still believe in God.
If God actually exists, then why does evil exist? Hi. You're confused. Why? Evil exists because God exists. So God created evil. If
Yeah,
God
this is a good
actually
like little
exists, then why
self-debate
does
thing.
evil
I'll
exist? Hi.
I'll be right
You're
back. I'm gonna
confused.
feed the
Why?
pups.
Evil exists because God
Oh,
exists.
my legs!
So God created evil. Do you know what evil is? It's something that's bad. Well, that would be a description of evil, so close but no. What is it then? Let me first ask you, what is cold? It's the opposite of warm. No, it's not. It's not like this duality of forces in some kind of a Buddhist mindset. So what is cold? I don't know, when molecules slow down. And what causes that? Heat being removed. Yes, cold is not the opposite of heat. It is the absence of heat. What is dark? Dark is the opposite. It is the absence of light. Exactly. So that means that evil is the absence of good, the absence of God. So you're saying that evil happens because God stopped caring and left? No, evil is the act of rebelling against God, trying to force his absence. Okay, but if God exists, then why does God allow evil to exist? If tonight at midnight, God got rid of all of the evil in the world, would that be a good thing? Yeah. Would you be here at 12:01? What do you mean? If all of the evil in the entire world vanished at midnight, would you still be here at 12:01? Yeah, I'm not evil. You who try to claim that God doesn't exist. You who lie to yourself to try to pretend that God doesn't exist so that you can try to shape morality to be anything that you want it to be while yet still not even understanding what evil is. You who exalt yourself as your own God. You You think that you are not evil. Well, I mean, that's assuming that God exists. So assume for a second that God does exist. Would you, after spitting in his face, pretending that he doesn't exist, would you still be here at 12:01? Well, I'm not pretending that he doesn't answer the question. No, if God does exist, then no, I would not be here at 12:01. Exactly. But that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't God just wipe out all the evil people in the world except for a few people to start over? He literally did that. That's what we refer to as the global flood. Okay, then what about if God just got rid of the most evil people, like the most wicked, evil people on earth? Why doesn't he just get rid of them? He did that too. We call that Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, why doesn't God prevent kids from getting sick? Have you ever seen a healthy child? Yeah, obviously. God is the reason that not only is that child here, but that child is healthy. So we have disease, we have sickness, we have illness because of us, because we are fallen creatures who have messed up so horribly and perverted God's creation. But when God intervenes in his creation, even though we are fallen and we don't deserve it, when God intervenes, that's where you see a healthy child. Whenever God intervenes, that's whenever you see something happening that is beneficial. Whenever God intervenes, you see even a single person being saved from the damnation that they desperately deserve because God is good. But why would a good God allow for a child to get sick and die in the first place? It's a wonderful question, but I don't have a full answer to it because that would be situational. What do you mean it's going to be situational? God causes all things to happen for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So I don't understand why God does anything, but I know that God is good. And because I know
all right,
that God
pups
is
are fed.
good,
I
know
am
that
going
I can trust him to do the greater good,
refill
to
my
do
water,
things that
and then I will
will
be right
never
back again.
able to
Did
understand
we go through
or
it again?
comprehend. I can
We went through it twice, didn't we?
trust
Fuck
God
it. I'm gonna
because
play.
of who
Holy
God is. Oh, so it's just blind faith. No, the Bible actually forbids a blind faith. It says that we need to be skeptical. We need to test all things and hold to what is good. That we need to always be ready to give a defense of the faith for which we contend. That doesn't make any sense. Explain how. Faith itself has to be blind. Do you have faith in your car that it's going to stop whenever you press the brakes? Yeah, because I understand how it works. Exactly. That doesn't make any sense. I understand how God works because the Bible tells us very clearly.
And I'm
The Bible
back.
tells us that God is good. God cannot lie, and therefore we can trust God. And so the same way that you have faith in your brakes because you know how they work, I have faith in God because I know who he is. I understand his character.
I am too
understand his
intelligent.
nature. I understand that
I'm actually the most intelligent person that ever lived. Ever.
he is fully good, and therefore he is worthy of my trust and my faith. But you've never seen God, so isn't that still blind? I've seen the results of God. I've seen the interactions of God. I've read the very words spoken from the lips of God. But that's not the same thing. Have you ever seen the wind? No. Have you ever seen the effects of the wind? Like something blowing? Yes. Then yeah. And this is why Jesus in John chapter 3 explains that God works like the wind, that we can't see the wind, but we can see the effects of the wind. Okay, but regardless, why does God let bad things happen to good people? I feel like we already went over this. What do you mean? Remember when I asked you if you would still be here at 12:01 if all evil was removed from the earth at midnight? Yeah, but you said because I'm an atheist, that means that I'm evil. Yes, but so is every single human. What do you mean? Jesus said that there is no one good but God alone. In the book of Romans, it says that there is no one who does good, no, not one, for all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God. I still don't get your point. Bad things don't happen to good people because good people do not exist. Jesus himself, being God, was the only good.
Right. Do you see how that moral framework kind of breaks down when you're talking about, like, I don't know, children dying of cancer, natural disasters, things like that? You could absolutely give a response like, well, nobody's really good, so if they died, they probably deserved it. But that would be pretty monstrous. That would be pretty morally wrong, one could argue. Them being subjective and all.
Person who has ever or will ever exist on this earth. Okay, then what about in the Old Testament where it says that God saw certain people were righteous? Those who are seen as righteous are the ones who have a faith in God. They have a faith in Jesus. So what they believed in the Old Testament was that Jesus is coming, and what we believe now is that Jesus
okay.
has come. So are you claiming that
due
Christians
to
are good people?
just
No, but
no
Christians are
they're just they just believe that Jesus is coming, and therefore they get a pass. You know, they get the pass on morality. Congratulations, early Christians. You guys, you ain't got to worry about shit. You're all good. Absolved. Congratulations. Go fuck yourself.
If you took every holy book and hid them.
Oh, it's the Quran.
Yes. Are you an atheist, Christian?
I'm atheist.
Okay, I can prove God exists in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I can see you've got a nice jacket here.
Yeah.
Okay. Your jacket is symmetrical.
Yeah.
Okay, it has specific
Ah, yes. Fine-tuning and the divine watchmaker.
shapes.
Correct.
Okay, it has a purpose.
I suppose, yeah. To wear it.
Well, yeah, it's wear it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the designer?
Not the actual person, no. But
How do you know it's designed?
well, I don't. I suppose.
So you believe that?
Right, but you can email the designer. You can email the people who work for the designer. You can talk to the people who work for the designer. You can talk to the people who represent the guy that works for the designer. Either way, always at the very end of the road is the designer, and you can go up to him, you can shake his hand, you can see that he exists. He exerts his will over his line of clothing, right, in terms of this jacket. He is the one that makes the decisions. You can see him making those decisions. Whoever it is in charge of the company who makes the jacket, you can very tangibly see and observe them, and they exist. They are real people. God does not fulfill any of those criteria. So that's a false equivalency
no,
at best.
Bershka, so I mean, it's designed to an extent.
Okay, so your rational and the logical conclusion would be that since it is made, since it has a pattern, since it has a purpose, it should have a designer.
Right.
Okay, you did not meet a designer.
No.
But logically and rationally, you can conclude and deduce that it's created.
Yes.
Okay, are you more complex in design or your jacket?
Me, I suppose.
Okay, so I would have to conclude that if your jacket has a purpose, it has a designer, it has a shape, so do you.
Why is it just always, it doesn't have to be God? You don't have to just believe that all of the sudden there's God. Even if we are to assume that we were created and designed very specifically, it could have just been some fucking guy in a lab. It could have been a computer programmer. It could have been anything. It could have been the primordial soup, space dust, coalescing into fucking consciousness. We don't know, and we don't have to just assume. You don't have to live your life just knowing that there's something that you can't prove, that you base your entire fucking life on.
Not only that,
That's
you have
insane.
a unique code, DNA. And not only that, your fingerprint is different to my fingerprint. So therefore, there has to be a being that's created you.
Why? Why? Why does there have to be something that created people? Why does that have to be a thing? What is the like universal requirement that we need to be put here by a designer? That's insane. It's just freaking crazy. And that doesn't prove that God exists. Just because you think that my jacket had to have a fucking designer because it's an article of clothing and we invented clothing, that doesn't prove that God exists.
You both mean the being that created me were both my parents, no?
No. Your parents caused you, but you don't depend on your parents for survival.
Oh, so now we get to just redefine words as we see fit. Okay. Interesting approach.
To the whole creation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so from now on, you're not an atheist.
Okay.
Please do read it.
Oh, okay.
Do me a favor. When you go home, just pray to that creator that I just told you about. Say, if this is the truth, guide me.
Okay. Oh, it's the Quran.
As long as it's his God. Propaganda, right?
Yes.
Fucking weirdo, dude. I made a pure photons. Sure.
This is part 1 of questions Christians cannot answer.
I'm a Christian.
If I tell my wife...
Sure.
This is part
Sure,
1
why not?
of questions Christians cannot answer.
I'm a Christian. Let's hear it.
First up, who created God?
That's not a hard question. It's just a nonsense question.
Oh, right. So I'm not going to answer that. Okay.
You asked who created God, but part of the definition of God is that he is not created.
Right. Okay, so you're dodging the question.
It's kind of like asking if grass is real, then why is it purple? Grass is not purple, and therefore...
That's not even close to the same thing. That's like saying, if my jacket is created and I can go and handshake the creator, why can I not go and handshake God? And if I can, who made him?
That question is completely ridiculous.
Right. So you're not going to answer that. So it's a question you can't answer.
God is not created.
You
He
proved
is
it.
Eternal, and therefore asking who created God is completely ridiculous.
Right. So you're not going to answer the question.
There was never a time when God was not. And
Okay. So you can't answer that question. So you're doing exactly what the OP said that you were going to do.
Therefore, there was never a time where something could create him.
Right. You said that 3 times now. None of that makes anything you say more valid.
However, in your video, you did bring up a good point. Christians believe that God is uncreated, so why can't atheists believe that the universe is uncreated? Well, there's 2 problems with that rebuttal. I'll give you one scientific one and one metaphysical one. The scientific one is that we have proven the universe had a beginning. It's called the Big Bang. Anything with a beginning must be created, so the...
No. There are a lot of scientists that believe that the impetus to the creation of the universe was the Big Bang. There are also just as many scientists who believe that it was simply another phase of our universe. Big Bang, Big Crunch sort of thing. This happens over millions and millions and millions and billions and billions, inconceivable amounts of time. So it wasn't really a beginning. It was, I mean, I guess you'd call it a beginning. If you really want to split hairs.
However, God did not have a beginning. Therefore, he is uncreated.
Right, therefore you're just not going to answer the question. It's halfway through this video and you have not answered the question.
Created and eternal. The metaphysical answer is that the universe has potency. Anything made up of
Gobbledygook.
parts must have an explanation as to why the...
Right, the watchmaker fallacy again. There has to be a designer.
...are arranged the way that they are. For example, the pages in this book are...
Yeah, and they always refer to fucking physical items. Things that have been made by people that you can go up to the person and say, "Hi, I see that you created this thing. Tell me about it."
Arranged in a certain order, and there is a reason or a cause as to why they are ordered the way that they are. In the same way...
Then why are human bodies so unreliable and so poorly designed? Why is the universe so unreliable and unpredictable and weirdly designed?
The universe is made up of parts, which means that something outside of the universe must be used to explain why those parts are arranged in the way that they are. However, when it comes to God, he is actus purus, which means he has no potency or parts. Therefore, there is...
There you have it, folks. God is impotent. Congratulations! Congratulations to everyone. I'm so happy that we could finally find this out. Oh, come on, you guys, you gotta tell me if the vertical thing ain't showing up. Come on now. Important. Yep. Yep. Japow. So he didn't answer the first question. It was part 1 or part 2 of questions.
This is part 1 of questions Christians cannot answer.
Part 1 of questions Christian can't answer.
Scientific made up of parts, which means that something outside of the universe must be used to explain why those parts are...
Right. You're, again, presupposing. Why must something outside the universe explain why those parts are arranged in the way that they are? You are, I guess, if we just look at this as a surface level, then what you're doing is you're saying that a watch had a maker. You're looking at that watchmaker and you're going, "Oh, that's a handsome man. Maybe a handsome man created all of this." I mean, we can reverse engineer it that way if you want. I wouldn't hate it. But that's essentially what you're saying.
However, when it comes to God, he is actus purus, which means he has no potency or parts. Therefore, there is no need for something outside of him to explain his existence. If you want to know more about those concepts, please check out Summa Contra Gentiles and Summa Theologica by St. Thomas Aquinas. But at the end of the day, if you think you've discovered a new argument against Christianity, you simply haven't researched enough. God bless.
Right, so let me spend 2 minutes not answering this question and then accuse the person who posted it of not knowing what they're talking about. Super cool.
If I tell my wife, if you don't love me, I'm going to set you on fire, does she have a choice? And also, am I a loving, good husband? Those are 2 questions I want you to answer.
If you set her on fire, then you never loved her to begin with.
And if God sends us to hell, he never loved us to begin with.
Wrong.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
God does love you.
Let me ask you a question, Eric, and this is a genuine question. Just yes or no. This is not a gotcha. I just genuinely want to know. Do you have anyone in your life that you genuinely love with all your heart?
Yeah.
What would that person have to do for you to condone them being tortured for all eternity?
What would that person have to do?
What choice would they have to make? What choices would that person have to make for you?
Hey,
to be like, you know what? The
jackpot.
best thing could happen right now is that you get tortured forever. That would be.
Do I want to risk it?
What would cause you to make that choice?
Do I want to risk it? I do.
Nothing.
We'll put.
Yeah, me too.
We'll put 2 of them up to 25.
More moral than God. It sounds like you are. It sounds like you're a lot of a better person than God is, because there's not a single thing my wife could possibly do that would make me want her to be hurt. So if God is like, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, the best thing that could happen is that you go to the lake of fire. That doesn't sound like love to me.
It is love because you got a choice.
Yeah, and
Right,
hey, man,
with a gun to your
person
fucking
you love
head.
In your life, they made a choice too. Is there any choice that they could make?
With a gun to your
Is there
head.
Any choice that a person that you love could make?
Follow me or go to hell.
Think that they should be
Fuck,
tortured?
man.
Any choice at all.
Sounds like an
they could
ultimatum
make
to me.
Make you think it's a good thing for them to go to hell.
I can't think of any right now. But
I couldn't either.
Like I said before,
I couldn't either, and that's the thing.
Right.
It's their choice.
As you said, God already knows what's going to happen.
Yep.
God's in charge of all of it. God made hell, right? He's established this moral system.
Right, but
he is the judge of who goes to hell and who doesn't. Whether we make the choices or not, it's his rules that we're playing by. So what you're saying is,
I couldn't play video games with Christians in the background. I'd go
he
crazy.
loves
Yeah.
us
But this is the kind of content that I watch normally.
so much that if we make the wrong choices, he thinks it's a good idea for us to be tortured forever. And you also said you couldn't imagine a single reason to torture anybody that you love.
That's like a petulant
And I agree
child,
with you there.
you know?
There's
That's
not a
like what
single
God
thing that
does
somebody
if
could do
his
that I would say
toys
you should
don't
be tortured,
fucking
no matter who they are, whether
do what he
they're alive or
wants.
not, but especially if I love them. I think it would be really gross if I were to tell my wife I love you so much, but if you did this thing, I think it would be really good that you got tortured. That'd be pretty awful.
it's totally different.
Why?
It's because
How?
It's eternity.
Yeah, if I told my wife you should be
so
tortured
much
for
worse.
Yeah.
eternity, that is different. It's exponentially more horrible.
If someone said I'm going to whip you for a couple of
Go to
days,
heaven, then heaven.
you know, like God orders your slaves to as long as they live, then that's okay. Like if somebody's going to whip you for a couple of days, that's a lot different than if they're going to whip you for eternity.
In my opinion, they're both awful, but that's not what we're talking about.
See, you're making a choice, right? I mean, you could right now accept Jesus in your heart, but you're choosing not to.
Yes, because any
Actively,
God...
angrily.
Yes, I am making that choice because any God that would set up a system like that is evil.
Yep.
Any God that would have a system like that, where you burn in
Pretty much.
eternity because you didn't like them, is a monster, is an egotistical maniac. And why on earth would I
Narcissist.
worship somebody like that?
Because he loves you and he gave you life.
I encourage you to
There
look
are
up the
people who
definition of
love-
love.
That's fair to say, but just because somebody loves you does not mean that they're going to treat you right.
And if somebody does love you, they probably wouldn't torture you.
Well, and you could very easily, if you wanted to give the argument, if you wanted to be honest, Christians, you could say because he's all powerful and he could smite you if he wanted to. He's gonna, and for not believing in him, he's gonna send you to the lake of fire. Like, you could get fire and brimstone about it, but people don't respond well to that, right? You gotta be deceptive. Just kind of what it seems like is the pattern for all fundies is that you want to be able to oppress people. That's what you want. You want to oppress people, and you want to make sure that you feel superior because other people are being oppressed. That is the wet dream of a religious fundamentalist. Just they fucking like goon to that shit all goddamn day. Oh yeah, I'm masking my desire for oppression into something that makes it sound like I'm trying to just love you.
Hell is so stupid.
Love with such a rough hand.
All right, let's hear it.
Imagine being in hell for 100,000 years for the 70-year life on Earth that you lived. Then when you get to the millions and billions, you don't even remember what you did on Earth, and you're like, wow, I'm just here forever. The whole idea sounds so man-made just to scare people into following it.
It seems like you don't actually understand what eternal hell is. You see, God is infinite, and God is good, so if you...
Oh boy.
What do you both think or believe will happen after you die?
To all the people that don't believe in God,
what the fuck is wrong with you?
maybe because I have
Fucking common sense. How about...
If there is a God, atheism must seem to him as less of an insult than religion. Faith forced or borrowed is not...
Do you think everything that God did in the Bible was good?
Yes. I'll hold.
Here are 5 questions that you... Hey, yo, God, I figured out how to create a human being without you. I know how to...
But I believe...
Yeah, I mean, I don't even... Music to me would be distracting if I was trying to play a video game.
Beliefs I will hold true to myself forever is that if you believe in God, you either A, haven't suffered enough, or B...
Purpose. Believe that the atheist is willfully ignorant because...
Okay, here we go, okay. It's a Christian stitch.
God, you either A, haven't suffered enough, or B, are using religion as a coping mechanism.
A popular thing I'll hear atheists say is that religion is used as a mechanism to help people cope with their existence, to give them meaning, to give them purpose, and help them overcome the fear of death. They reduce our belief as a coping mechanism.
So, in order to see that as a bad thing, you have to assume that coping is a bad thing. That's not what that means. Coping is not an unnecessary part of psychological development. Like, it's coping with trauma, coping with loss, coping with codependency in relationships, coping with, your excess anger. Those are all things that are just processes of emotional development. That's all you're doing. You are just engaging in a process of emotional development. So coping is not something like, I know that people say like cope and seethe like it's a meme, but that's all it is. There is no such thing as there's no such thing. Coping is not a term that is used derogatorily. It's simply used to describe something that you're doing. And so when you say that people are reducing your religion to a simple coping mechanism, you're completely misunderstanding what the person's saying in the first place. Listen here.
One of my core beliefs that I will hold true to myself forever is that if you believe in God, you either A, haven't suffered enough, or B, are using religion as a coping mechanism.
A popular...
So, what they're saying, and I can't purport to know that if what they're saying is correct or not. I happen to agree with it, but I don't think that it's as absolute as that. What they're saying is that if you believe in God, then here's what they actually said, and then I'll interpret what they said. If you believe in God, then you haven't had enough trauma in your life, or you're using religion as a coping mechanism. So this person clearly believes that the use of religion is to process trauma. And they're partially, I agree with them in that respect, that religion is used to process things like trauma. Absolutely. But it's also like, a set of doctrines that people adopt to excuse bad behavior, to shelter themselves from shame or from guilt, or to absolve themselves from some kind of previous guilt or negative behavior that they've engaged in. It is used as both a coping mechanism and a shield, but I don't think those are exclusive. So this person clearly just takes it as a diminishment of his religious faith, which that's not why they're intending, or that's not why they're saying that, Do you think your compulsion to attack Christianity to be demonic? In what way am I attacking Christianity? If you wanna describe how you think I'm attacking Christianity rather than people who practice bad Christianity, then I'd like to know.
Thing I'll hear atheists say is that religion is used as a mechanism to help people cope with their.
So for him, he believes that coping is something that others would say to each other, that the people would say to each other in order to insult one another. That's almost never the case when you use coping in the right way. Like, this person is saying that they're coping with something. That means that you are trying to reconcile yourself. You're trying to process whatever inherent shame or guilt you feel. I don't even know what the actual definition is. Let's see. Let's see what the dictionary says. Deal effectively with something difficult. Where's the diminishment in there? Some people, and I would say that especially if you are the type of person that boils religion down into just a coping mechanism or something that you only experience once you've experienced enough trauma, then I think that they aren't using coping in a insulting manner. What they're doing is they're trying to say that you're processing something difficult. You're trying to deal effectively with something difficult. And so this person responding is very clearly seeing it as an insult or like a emasculation or something. What is more self-righteous? To acknowledge you're a sinner and turn to God and accept what he's done for us, or to reject your only chance at salvation because you think you're in a godless universe? What is more self-righteous? To try and impress your beliefs on others, taking some moral high ground when people have used Christianity to justify monstrous things throughout history? I would say that's more self-righteous, considering yourself to be somehow better than others. I don't profess to be better than anybody. I just happen to be atheist. And you've said that I'm attacking Christianity, but you haven't given me any examples of how.
Their existence, to give them meaning, to give them purpose.
So Randy, before I answer your question about which is more self-righteous, I already did, but why don't you answer my question?
Overcome the fear of death. They reduce our belief as a coping mechanism. And the funny
Right, it's not a reduction. She's not being reductive in any way. She's just saying that she believes that people who are religious, people who believe in God, are either trying to process something important or scary in their life, or they haven't experienced enough of those important or scary things to believe believe otherwise.
thing is, two can play at that game. Because as a Christian, I believe that the atheist is willfully ignorant, so they don't have to be accountable to a God.
Right, so you're talking about like 5 billion people here. If you think that you can just put 5 billion people under one single set of definitions that you've created in your head for atheism, then you are very ignorant.
That is the ruler of the universe. They would
willfully
rather
so,
play
some
God
could argue.
than submit to the real one. They don't want to be held accountable to a standard beyond themselves. So they suppress the truth to a...
Right, because atheists don't follow any laws or have any principles whatsoever. They're all just completely amoral and ajudicial. Completely. There's no, atheists that live in the US, they don't follow any of the laws. Why would they, Laws are for God followers, all right? How dare you try to impose your will upon me?
Prove of their wickedness and their unbelief. I think it's about time that we outgrow atheism and believe in the one true God as...
Okay. And this is not evil to you, Randy? You don't see any of this as evil. I get to hold a gun to your head because I feel more superior to you, because you don't follow the religion I do. So I'm going to hold a gun to your head and I'm going to say, either you believe who I believe in or you go to hell. Cool. Super not evil. Feels a little evil. Feels just a little evil. And other Christians would be like, nah, that's not a real Christian. Come on. We don't preach that stuff. But then there'd be just as many Christians who disagree with you. Saying, oh yeah, he's absolutely preaching the gospel. Absolutely. Why does he get a pass? for being a dick.
Could we read it?
Yes, yes. Are you atheist, Christian?
I'm atheist at the moment.
No, you can't be. I can prove God exists in 2 minutes.
How could you?
He wasn't able to the first time because he engaged in quite a few logical fallacies, but let's see what he does this time.
Do you agree that your jacket has a purpose?
Oh, he's using the same exact argument. All right.
It looks good.
Okay, do you believe it has a specific design?
Yes. NFL design.
Have you gone to the factory to see someone make this?
I haven't.
No, but you can. Very easily. You find out where the factory is, you arrange for a tour, and you can take one. And, I mean, if they allow tours, maybe for security concerns, maybe they won't, but yes, you could. You absolutely could. Point 1. Fucking defeated.
I haven't gone to the factory.
Okay, can I ask you, what makes you believe that this jacket is designed and has a purpose?
Because clothes don't just fucking pop in like in video games. No, I did not get married in a church. I got married in a courthouse. Like, isn't that weird? Like, you can actually go to a factory to go and talk to the person. And so, I mean, I don't.
I believe that it's a good one. Could you tell me?
Okay, so my argument is the following. I know by looking at your jacket, by observing it with my rational, logical faculties, that it has specific shapes that are intentionally done. So somebody's designed it. It's a jacket that you wear to keep you warm or for design, whatever. It has a purpose. And therefore, I come to the conclusion that it's designed. Now, when I give an example, for example, of your heart.
He's flailing in his own argument. This is presumably something that he posted. It must be cold outside.
Your heart is more complex in design or your jacket?
I think my heart is more complex design.
Okay. And I wouldn't say more, I would say million times more complex in design. If your jacket has a purpose, it has a design, somebody made...
Right. If A and B, then fucking Z, my friend. Full fucking send. It's God. It's automatically God. The first thing that you can't explain, God. How fucking dare you?
It. My argument is that your heart that is far more complex requires a designer.
Okay.
And...
Says who? Says who? Do you dilute yourself into considering this some form of seeking God? Why can't you answer my question? You want to answer the question that I asked, or did you forget the question? Where did I attack Christianity? If anything, I'm doing your job for you. You could learn to sit down and shut the fuck up, but instead you're here proselytizing. God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. You know you're being prideful right now, right? But gives grace to the humble. So if you want to know God, you'll have to start by being humble, right? You might want to look in the mirror when you say that shit. Maybe be less of a prick. You ever consider that?
Like the world is intentional, like it's designed in that way.
If that designer exists,
there must be a designer.
A designer, and only that designer must have a will, because this universe came to be.
So not to mention the fact that this could just be a grift, like it could just be someone that he's, paying to be the person on the other end of this questioning. But it's also just very likely that these people who create these clips all fucking day long, they have said the same script over and over and over, know it the back of their hand, and it is just that, just repetition, just constantly over and over and over. And you know the reason why it's so funny that it's like, I guess I get kind of surprised sometimes that I keep hearing the same arguments over and over again, but I guess I just have to keep reminding myself that, yeah, that's the script. It's all just based off one book. They can't get their own fucking book right. Most of you don't even read it. Atheists tend to do more research on religion, especially other religions, than the people who are fucking proselytizing like Randy. One wonders why you're even on YouTube. You could see that as being demonic, right? Using social media. That's not very Christian. Accusing people of doing things that they're not. Didn't God say something about false accusations? Maybe this is why people might attack Christianity, is because people like you exist. Okay. I think we did enough reacting. I'm happy to still talk about why Christianity is evil, especially if Randy wants to keep running his mouth. But we'll just concentrate more on trying to make money. I really am trying to play this game ethically here. Legally, not ethically. What's up, Angel? How you doing? I really think that we can overcome the bottleneck of having to produce any cannabis whatsoever. We're already up to 6,000, so I think that's pretty comfortable. I'm not going to be really worried about losing money at this point. Unless we hit like a real bad streak. But once I get up to 10,000, I think we can go ahead and bump it all up to 100. Just to be clear, we have not created any drugs whatsoever. I prefer video games instead of hell. Well, to some Christians, if you're playing video games, you're gonna go to hell. All right? So you're gonna get a little dose of both. All right? So be ready. Be ready to descend into hell. And then we'll do the, Oh, I can hear the jackpot noise. I hit a jackpot. We'll go ahead and we will, let's see, end the polls. End the poll. If you play video games, you won't go to hell. Some Christians would disagree with you. We'll even do this. We'll turn off the controversy thing. Controversy, what you call it, meter? Gauge. Shabam, look at that. Hey, there were 14 votes on the poll. Hell yeah. Appreciate it. But on hell, are there some video games that are demonic, where you will go to hell? What if I play Cult of the Lamb, huh? Isn't that supposed to... That would be a one-way ticket to hell, I would think. No looksies backsies, you know? And then I am going to go ahead and move the chat window over here. And then put it behind the phone camera. Ooh, how about that? Nope. Nah, I think it just needs to be small. I think it just needs to be small and sort of out of the way. Just like that. Yes, sir. I am religious, and now I see I shouldn't say someone is going to hell because that's not my place. Well, good. Then you are one of the few religious people that I think I can say I respect. As long as you're not out there holding signs that say that you're not allowed to be trans or gay. As long as you're not, you know, trying to vote for laws that restrict their freedoms and stuff. Which, again, a lot of Christians are very wont to do these days, you know. Going to hell because of Mario Kart? Have you not seen, like, some of the manosphere, like, right-winger guys? Like, they are trying very hard to make things that people enjoy demonic. It is insane. So, yeah, I mean, Neo Slinky, you may be joking, but you're not speaking an entire untruth. Like, there are people who say that, like, Pokemon is demonic because you go around collecting monsters. That's not what the Lord dictates is okay, alright? Maybe some cultists' games, I don't know what you think cultists' games are. Like, are you talking about conspiracies where, like, the Illuminati is in charge of some, like, video game company or something? Because that's not really a thing. You know that people back in the day, the original Satanic Panic, they went to, like, video game spaces. Because as technology grew, you know, the people who were pioneering that kind of stuff tend to be, like, educated, neurodivergent, socially awkward, and so they have the time and energy and the education to be video game developers, and so they go into that space, and then that's why you get nerds in video gaming. So people that were originally seen as the satanic ones for playing like D&D and tabletop role-playing games and stuff like that. Like, if you sacrifice things to demons or being demonic stuff and worship demons, and you don't think that anyone creates video games that would poke fun at religion simply by adding demonic stuff into those games? You don't think it's entirely possible that in the creative process, someone put a part about sacrificing something to a demon in a video game because it's a taboo, or even without any knowledge of anything religious? You know that there are plenty of practices that Christianity took from pagan religions that then went on to flourish and still do those symbolic things through folklore that's, like, you know, hundreds of years old, obviously, but you know, it's just there are things like sacrifice and demonic worship, and I don't know what you mean by doing demon things, but, like, yeah, there's plenty of that kind of stuff in video games, but the games themselves are not evil. Again, everything is a tool. Like, everything that we create is a tool to focus our will. If we're creating the Bible to try and use it to justify things like slavery, then that would be us using a tool for something evil. It's just like how people say that guns don't kill people, even though it's the wide and unfettered access to them that criminals have that is necessarily the problem, and which is why regulations need to exist in the first place, to reduce the pipeline of firearms into normal society. Don't get me started on that politic fucking black hole. So, I mean, we're pretty much just doing the damn thing. This is how you make money legally in Schedule 1. It is borderline legal. Because, I don't know. Do people make millions of dollars gambling? Yeah, of course they do. There's no way they wouldn't. Yeah. So it is legal. So this is we're making money completely legally in the world of Schedule 1. And we started out legally too, which is, you know, that's, I guess, a hard thing to do. Because, I guess first you have to skip the intro. And then you have to kind of, like, take the idea that you had weed growing in your RV. So I'm thinking it was personal use. You know, I'm thinking it was just personal use. Like, it was well within the law, you know what I mean? Have you heard that someone made a site for kids to gamble? Do you not know that children gambling has been around since loot boxes were a thing? Gotchas. The Labubu's, those are gambling. That's all gambling. You spend money on something and you're not sure of what the outcome is, but the result you get might actually financially benefit you. That's gambling. Risking money on a venture would be gambling. So, kids have been gambling since Chuck E. Cheese was a thing. Putting a coin into a slot and hoping that your luck pays off. That'd be gambling, my friend. That's why they're trying to steer away from, at least in America, they're trying to steer away from claw games and games of chance. And I don't know if you noticed, but Dave & Buster has completely redone all their shit. If you're near a Dave & Buster's, whatever game center near you that has an arcade, they've all been changing their shit. And it's in order to combat the idea of children gambling. Anything you spend money on that has a chance to give you the thing that you spend the money on, that's a gamble. So like anything like Labubu, anything that you find at those like vending machines or stores where they have just like endless amounts of these by chance boxed figurines. Ugh, that's all gambling. We're a very risk-reward oriented society, just people in general. And definitely some of us love that whole risk-reward thing more than others, but that's a human thing. We like stimulus, we like that input, we like the serotonin release. It's our biology. And it ain't gonna change no time soon, okay? Gosh darn it. So if we get up to 50,000, then that's when we'll start really. We'll put 10,000 in the bank, and then we'll buy the laundromat. Is really what I was getting at. Yesterday was actually kind of good, viewer-wise, even though we had it subscribers only. That was not bad. That was actually a pretty good experience. I'd like to keep that going. Who knows, you know? Got 1,000 views yesterday. Probably because I lumped both controversial topics into one. That can do it sometimes. And then today's just a lot more chill, you know? It's noon and I'm feeling good. Sun's out, guns out, buns out. If you know, you know. Though that was pretty explicit. So, you know, it's you can very easily extrapolate the correct information from that. All right, I am going to smoke our bar. So, if you also smoke a balls, then feel free to get one ready. I'm going to turn the phone cam off for just a moment. And when I am ready, I'm going to say cheers, and you can feel free to join me. And then we're going to, oh, I punched the air there for a second. And then we're going to keep gambling. I'm going to take that off the screen. I'm going to take that off the screen because we're ready to entertain the question, but we're not necessarily asking the question anymore. What's more evil? Now we're just chilling and we're trying to make as much legal money as possible in the game Schedule 1. Thank you for joining. And I've got that bowl ready. I'm going to fire off in about 3, 2, 1. Shablamazam. All right. Hiya. If you don't cough even a little bit, then you're probably not me. You probably have a better smoker larynx. I ain't playing Tetris no more. The game is so diabolical, straight to hell. Yeah, I mean, stacking blocks on one another is just so inherently demonic. You know, you should probably go talk to your priest about it. All right? Go talk to your priest. And then atone. All right? Give yourself a few Hail Marys. Do some self-flagellation. Location on the body I'll leave up to you. Sorry, we'll get back to gambling in just a second. I'm cleaning this glass piece real quick. Just give me a sec. Just hang on. Is the chat still, like, the chat cache is not working again for some reason on the on this add-on here? Yeah, weird. The chat overlay. Refresh. You bastard. Angry Birds? Yeah, that's pretty satanic, man. It's pretty satanic. I wouldn't be playing Angry Birds if I were you. Shaboomba. Teehee. I miss Angry Birds, man. Those were the days. Shooting little piggies at, or shooting little birds at piggies. Destroying their houses. Those were the days, my friend. But yeah, pretty satanic. You know, birds... birds are the tool of the devil. Alright? And if you disagree, you're going to have to prove otherwise. Alright? Birds are the devil. In winged form. The goddamn devil. And sandwiches are Buddha's playground. I think maybe I'm just hungry and wanted to mention sandwiches. I'd eat the hell out of a sandwich right now. I'd eat the hell out of one. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're at 12,000. Just need a few more jack parrots. And then we can bump it up to 100. Talking to your priest about Tetris and asking for forgiveness. I mean, you're going to have to. You must atone for stacking blocks. There's no holy reason to be stacking blocks all day long, right? Hey, jackpot! It's only because you'd be serving the devil. How dare you stack a brick on top of one that's already been stacked somewhere? That's the devil's work. Construction zones? The devil's playground. He'll quick mix your ass. He'll also wax that ass. It'll put your head in the pillow. What? I think I blacked out there for a moment. I would go for a falafel sandwich right now. So yesterday the options were, it was like a sliced ham and pimento cheese. Very good. And then the other one was the duckaletta, which is a muffaletta with sliced duck breast instead of, I believe, it was like maybe duck mortadella, like a duckadella. Ductadella. I don't know if that's a thing. Or duck prosciutto. Some duck kind of thing. But it had the that olive relish that muffalettas always have, but it was served on ciabatta, so it wasn't on like a big spongy bun, you know, like oftentimes muffalettas are dried out because it's just the bun absorbs like all that oil and shit. And ciabatta is nice and soft, and so it was really like, it was a very pleasant experience. Much better eating a muffaletta like in that form than any other form. Hey, Yakpot. Yakpot. What on earth? Shabam, 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 shabam. Oh, we can probably bump it up now. Maybe. Yeah, I think we can. I don't think that it's too risky. If we start dipping down below like 10,000, then I'll probably want to reduce it a little bit. One jackpot will be pretty safe to, because it's something like 20 times whatever your initial investment is. So if you get another jackpot within 20 spins times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you know, so in a total of 100 spins, if you get another jackpot, you're fine. So like, it's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have ever played roulette. Maybe we can play roulette on the stream sometime. But there's like kind of like a technique that you can do for roulette where you put all of your money in like a bucket of the, let me pull up a picture of what a roulette table looks like. All right, so see if I can see that full size. So that's what a roulette board looks like. And can I see it represented on the actual? Where is it? You know, people used to make fun of me back because I had pimples on my, fun of your back because I had pimples on my back, and I would say your face looks like my back. You're saying I have pimples? I don't think I've had a pimple in 10 years. So what I'm thinking about it here we go, is a representation of the... Come on, show it bigger, you... God. So this technique, which is not really a technique, but this like technique that you use is you look at the statistics on the board and which numbers keep getting called up like in patterns. And you just put your money in like a bucket around that number. And gosh, how do I describe this? It's if you're the needle is set on this, right? Ow, Jesus. Damn it. If the needle's set like right here, right? And you look at the statistics on a long enough timeline, you're going to see a large variation of numbers from here to here in the period of time that this is where you're looking on the stats. So like if this is number 1 on the stats in for like your historical numbers, then if you spread that timeline out to say like a year, then you'll notice a pattern of this number to this number coming up. And you can equate that to pretty much any of the top numbers, but all that tells you is that it's a good idea that the needle really only wiggles like that. And so you can just invest in that bucket, and as long as you get 1 out of 16, as long as 1 out of every 16 times you roll, or are there for a game, or playing a game or whatever, 1 out of every 16 times, you might, as long as you get it, you'll make back your initial investment plus six times more. So like if it's $1.50, you get something like, I don't know, $6.50 back or something. I don't know the math on it exactly, but it is, you're trying to stack the chances that you're going to win as much as possible with as little investment as possible. If that makes any sense. But that's like what we're doing here. It's the same thing. We're trying to force the odds to be ever in our favor. By just overwhelming it, you know. That's why you got to get an initial little investment together. And I would recommend that this is exactly how people come back breaking even on like gambling trips, like to Vegas, because if you bring enough money, then you can. The concept's called tonnage, but if you make enough, or if you play enough, you can make enough. Just by sheer chance, by increasing the chances as much as possible, by playing as much as possible. The stats are in your favor, especially with slot machines. Slot machines tend to be the highest, have the highest payouts. In most big casinos. I'm sure that there are some that absolutely tune theirs a little less loose, but slots, for the most part, are pretty loose, and that's to get people to come in, because the widest demographic of people play slots. From just hitting the legal gambling age all the way up to blue hairs in their 90s and beyond. Everyone loves gambling. It's a family event. It's a family fun event, even, you know, you could say, perhaps, potentially. So we're at 23,000. I think all of them are at 100 yet. We're just sitting. We're good. We're chilling. Like I said, I'm shooting for about 50-ish thousand. And then we will start trying to lounder it. And we'll probably have to come back a few times, I'm guessing. I wouldn't be surprised if we had to come back a few times. Alright? I wouldn't be surprised. And I'd be honored to come back once again. And then it's just a waiting game after that. I'm probably going to buy the warehouse, maybe? Maybe what will the milestones be? What will success look like? You know? Maybe what we could do once we get all the way up to the top is we could actually just then start doing drugs. Or not doing, but like selling. Who knows? Why not? I guess because then we'd be playing the game as intended, and that's not the goal here. We're making money legally. Wish I could just buy the police station. These bastards chasing me down, taking all my product. It could be a Tony Montana playthrough, perhaps. I don't know. We're doing this tomorrow, too. It may only ever be this. Endless loops of jackpot after jackpot after jackpot after jackpot after jackpot after jackpot after jackpot. That's what gave me my 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, I enjoy a good amount of some online gambling. And it's been a while, but I did enjoy it when I had the money to spend on it. I much prefer like just going out and having some beers or something, taking my dogs out, and then just saving the money. Because I've been able to like, you know, have it when I needed it at that time. But I know, like, I don't know. I think people, like, they just kind of, like, buy what they need most of the time. I don't know. People aren't really splurging a lot these days, right? Although the McDonald's CEO says that he eats McDonald's, like, 3 to 5 times a week. Who would ever disbelieve that? You know? Not to mention the fact that the caloric intake would be enough to put him in, calorie surplus. Just by sheer nature of the amount of calories he's consuming. I don't know where he's making this shit up. But he has to know how weird he seems. I mean, I'm weird, but that guy's especially weird. He's a weirdo. Right? Why wouldn't somebody who's, like, obsessed with McDonald's be their CEO, you know? Shouldn't they have passion? Shouldn't they enjoy the product? He's probably the type of guy who's like, ooh, oh, please, not a burger for me. Too fatty. Too fatty. Oh, and you know, they always put so much on them, you know? I think, you know, they put all this lettuce and onions and tomatoes and things on the, you know, it's just, why, at that point, just have a salad, you know, at that point. You know, I often will sometimes have my quinoa patty between 2 slices of flaxseed flatbread that I cultivated and then milled myself in my personal stone hutch. It's attached to my property. It's about 1.5 acres, and I mill it using a donkey. We make product with it all the time, but I prefer quinoa patties, naked. And I often take very small bites. Close your eyes, St. Anthony of Bourdain. It'll be okay. It'll all be over soon. The McDonald's CEO will one day die, and the company will go to an equally weak-looking pair of hands. But you know what? We got ourselves into this mess, by gummit. And we turned ourselves into a corporatocracy, and gosh darn it, now we gotta live in it. Earthworm Jim is especially one of those demonic games, you know? It's very demonic. Remember that from back in the day. And it was a TV show. Isn't that fun? Winning! Winning! Give me some jackpots. Come on, come on, come on. Papa needs a pair of shoes. Cause his feet keep getting blisters. I guess. Apparently they don't care if I assault their machines, but I was hoping it would spit out a coin or two, you know? How is this money getting to me? Just going straight into my pockets. Is this the Matrix? But if it looks like a steak and tastes like a steak, and talks like a steak... I wish I was eating a stack of delicious sandwiches right now. I kind of always wish that, though. I think that's been kind of like my pattern for life. Just a big stack of sandwiches. I'd be real happy about it. I would be just like a plate of just like big old, like maybe like there's an Italian cold cut, and there's like a prosciutto salami one, and then like a ham and brie one, you know, like just all kinds of like different types of delicious, delicious sandwiches. And then a bunch of cheeses. And I want to take a bite out of the actual wheel of cheese. I'm not going to wait for someone to slice a little bit off. I'm just going to take a bite. We're doing it. We're almost up to 30,000. Which is not bad, it's not bad, it's not bad, it's not bad. Boy, it is getting real bright out there. Probably going to be pretty warm, I'm assuming. It was supposed to rain all day. And it was supposed to snow today. Weatherman sucks. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no, I feel like... I feel how warm it is right now. It is like... It's toasting. It's toasting up, and I'm posting up. Ha ha ha! Up to 30,000. Just gotta keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Come on, keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? All I wanted was a coffee. Well, yeah, I mean, it's demonic. Earthworm Jim, demonic. You know? Hey, man, wake up and smell the concrete! You guys remember Limp Bizkit? Back in the day? Used to go hand in hand with Korn. We're all in the family. I could totally do karaoke for Korn. See? I did it. Yeah, I mean, Cynical, you and I are now old enough to see time going around in a circle. Congratulations. Congratulations. Wide leg pants are supremely popular. Goth girls are hot again. It's, you know, I'm sure I think of others, but I really hate thinking about how old I am. We should be watching Carolyn Levitt make a fool of herself. Is there like a debrief or a press conference or something? I cannot stand watching those anymore. I had to watch fucking Hegseth do his briefing this morning. Ugh. We will rain death upon them! Dude, I think probably all of us had a pair of Jinkos, you know, back in the day. You know, hey, more power to him. The fact that Hot Topic is still around to take advantage of this is crazy. Like my friend's 9-year-old is like obsessed with like Labubu and all the gacha box, mystery box things. And so they're starting to sell those now. But it's like scary or like creepy horror or like anime or whatever. You know, Hot Topic has like a mixture of different themes, but it's very consistent, you know. But yeah, like they still have all the stuff that you and I probably remember. Like they have like band tees and just the normal like piercings. But I don't know if you remember, it like declined quite a bit for a while. And then they stopped carrying all this the cool stuff. And I think they kind of had to sacrifice action figures a little bit. I didn't see as many action figures as I used to. Like I used to see Spawn action figures and like Marvel and shit. They used to carry those on the shelves, but certainly not anymore. Now it's all like Labubu and Japanese like poppity pop figure pop. I think my wife has one. Pop. They're not just called pops. Pop movies? It's not just pop. It's pop something. It's Pops. Funko Pop. Dear God, yes. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Funko Pops. Labubu's Beanie Babies preserving. Do you mean like, are they like an investment like Beanie Babies, or what do you mean? Oh yeah, Funko Pop. Yeah, I definitely was, I think, too old for that trend to hit. I was not a collector, and my wife just has like one, and she hates the shape of them, so she got the Audrey 2 one. I just mean their next, yeah. I have also seen, like, I think they're like the old people at maybe TY or whatever the company is that handled Beanie Babies. They're trying to make them a thing again too. Not a lot of nostalgia to grab onto right there. Not as valuable as they used to be, right? Maybe they'll come around full circle too, you know? But yeah, this kid was like obsessed with Labubus, and so like she's trying to. I cannot. First, she's 9, so she talks like an idiot. That's fully endearing. I mean that as a term of endearment, not as an insult. But yeah, 9-year-olds talk like morons, and they don't make sense a lot of the time. And so I'm trying to like follow along with what she's saying, and and then she said I wasn't a baddie, and apparently that's an insult. She said old man's not a baddie, and I was like, all right. And she had her friend on her phone with her for some reason. Like, now people talk on the phone again, all of a sudden. Kids, I guess. You know, now kids talk on phones now. For the last 20 years, I couldn't get a person to even say thank you or goodbye to me on the phone. You know how weird that's been? If people fucking say goodbye in person, why don't you say goodbye on the phone? Just say fucking goodbye. Like, let someone know you're ending the conversation, kids. You fucking kids. But now kids are talking to each other on the phone all the time. Pretty soon you're going to be seeing, like, you know, kids are like, oh, I don't want to use my phone anymore. Can we just, like, can I have a phone that doesn't leave my room? And then we're gonna start having fucking landlines again. I bet you, like, I'm calling it here. The moment's preserved in my YouTube live stream database for posterity, okay? I'm calling it right now. Landlines are gonna become a thing again. And you're gonna see in, like, modern movies, you're gonna see kids, like, standing, like, at the phone, like, near the wall, like, twirling a new bouffant beehive that they, like, it's totally new hairstyle, totally, like, Revlon or some bullshit, LA Looks, like, talking on the phone, like, oh yeah, Becky, totally tubular bullshit. The moment rotary phones come out, I'm out. Yeah, I mean, I think there's that, like, 100-year gap, right? I think we're nearing the 100-year gap. 100-year gap. And so, like, that wave has crashed. You know? Right? They were, like, used, what, into the late 80s? Late 90s, maybe? Even still? In some Midwestern family homes? I knew of some people in the Midwest who didn't even have phone lines, so maybe that dates me. But yeah, I figure if that's a thing, then rotary phones are probably a thing, at least in the Midwest, up into, like, the maybe mid-90s? I don't know, and then just all of a sudden everyone got internet. Do you remember Furbies? Yeah, dude. I didn't ever have one during the big popularity of them, because I was too old for that at the time. I was just like, when did those come out? That was after, like, 2000, right? '98. Okay. Yeah, I was, I think, in junior high at that point. So I was, like, way too cool for that. We had a rotary phone when I was young. Yeah, I think, because we moved around a lot when I was a kid. Like, my mom was, you know, a single mother, and she tried to work for whoever she could. And so we lived in Florida, and then we lived in California numerous times, back and forth. But I think I remember there being a rotary phone in one of the older houses. Like, let's say, like, we were living with, I don't know, my grandpa's wife or something. I'm assuming that that's probably, but I kind of, like, yeah, I always just say I'm at the tail end of millennial, born 84. It's like a damn long time ago. But yeah, I think at least one of the houses had a rotary phone. I loved playing with it. I barely remember that. And from what I remember, that house was really big and really cool. And I just, man, I wish we didn't have such stupid brains when we were babies, you know? Damn my stupid brain. My stupid baby child brain. Barely even developed. What an idiot. What an idiot moron. All right. Well, we're gonna. I think it's just gonna keep going up, but it's gonna be slow going for a bit. What we're gonna do, since we're pretty close to time ending anyway, time in general is ending. I'm sorry, guys, but existence is over. It's been a fun ride. Stream time is ending, so yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I get to go get gas, and I'm going to go pick up my wife, and we're going to enjoy another day of sandwich week, another 2 sandwich places. I don't know which ones. I love being surprised by that. So I like keeping it a, or I like her keeping it a secret from me. She plans out the whole week. And it's going, oh man, it's going to be good. I would say that hearing about the new arc with the brand new team of turtles, I would say that my passion for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has been reignited. But it's been a while since I've really consumed much in the land of TMNT. So I would probably have to refresh myself. But yeah, the whole Last Ronin storyline thing, and then the resurgence of the Turtles now, and then a whole like, I don't know, a whole like basically new universe, I guess. And then the whole idea that these are the Turtles from the 90s in the Last Ronin storyline is just like chef's kiss perfect. And they really should continue work on that film. Because what I was hearing about it was pretty fucking cool. Pretty fucking cool. From the lady who played April O'Neil herself. And I think Ernie Reyes, not Ernie Reyes. It wouldn't be Reyes. It would be, oh fudge, what's his name? The guy that played Leonardo. They were like, I think they were in the bodysuits though, and then they went on to play their voices. I don't remember. I can't remember which was which. I don't think they were in the bodysuits. Some of them were. Ernie Reyes was for a bit. I don't remember. It's fuzzy in my mind. Comic-Con was a bit ago. Fan Expo was, I think, the most recent one. And I will check out the comics. Like I said, the whole new team thing with like having superpowers and shit, and they're all specialized in each of the previous Turtles' weapons. Super fucking cool to just like have that as an element of it. That's just cool. Like, I don't know. I love that little touch. I'm talking about the guys so the guy that played Leonardo in the suit in the first movie went on to voice him in other projects, but I'm not sure which, and I'm not sure if he was the guy in the suit. Cam Clark sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure. And then Raphael was Ernie Reyes in the suit, and then who played Kino in the second one. And then I think they brought back the original Leonardo and Donatello for the third one in the suits. I don't remember. There's a whole interesting story about all that shit that went on surrounding that production, and I wish I'd been recording. That actually would have been a really good idea if I'd been recording the stories they were talking about. Anywho, I'll be on later tonight, Cynical, if you're playing video games or anything like that. But I think I've proved that you can make a bunch of money. In my other save game, I have over like I just had something like $100,000, and I put I just bought, like, I had to launder all the money, so I had to just keep sleeping. I had to just walk around and just fucking twiddle my thumbs and just like keep sleeping, and like, okay, I gotta keep sleeping, launder money, keep sleeping. And then I had to get the car wash, and I had to get the post office, and it was just like weeks and weeks and weeks. And because I kept having, like, I was just for fun, like making different mixes and just filling up my dealer's inventory. And I never had money problems. I was about to outfit the warehouse. Totally just through casino money. I love how the casino just trivializes money in the game. Gives you plenty of time for prop walking, which is cool. All right, I gotta go. Bye, guys. Thanks, Skippy. You stuck it out for a while this time. I appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your days. What's his life about? Yeah, fuck yeah, he did, Corey Feldman. Fuck yeah, he did. That's one of his claims to fame. He was at Comic-Con. I don't know if you remember that. With Sean Astin and the rest of the Goonies. Later, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The stream is about it being over.